Recording. And so, welcome to session 2, everyone. So, before we start, I will go through the recap. So, previously, you were summoned to the Belios Nexus Guild for your first mission as novices. You were informed that you would be responsible for your living expenses, but that you would be paid for missions. You spoke with Carl, where you learned information about your mission to find out how an adolescent Kylon got into the city, who was responsible, and why, and that you have a week to do so. You learned of the sighting last night by the West Garrison, which is in charge of the west and northwest gates, led by Captain Takra Razgar. You also learned of attacks near the Rose Boulevard and the North Tenements. You invested the West Gate and talked to Sergeant Garbek Horon, and then proceeded to the garrison. At the garrison, you talked to the captain who sent you to Mur Wyziel, the person who made the report. After some difficulty, you learned from Mur that he didn't see the creature, but his partner, Dallor, did, who was also on duty with Mur. You learn that Dallor sent Mur away, was pale and shaken by seeing the creature, and has been off duty since this morning without pay. You also learn that Dallor has recently come into money. You learn that Dallor spends a lot of time and money at the Golden Dice on the Rose Boulevard. However, he likely won't be there tonight, but should be there tomorrow night for the big game. You also investigated the sites of the attacks, saved townspeople from the Kylon hatchlings, but lost the trail of the Kylon because it used a one-time magic item. You learn that Dallor was seeing a young woman who lives on a nearby farm named Janice. However, after talking to Sergeant Bretdal Lasdal, the female dwarf, at the northwest gate, you learned the farm was burnt down a few days ago. You recovered a bracelet from the farm, Dallor and Janice. You learned that a heavily laden wagon entered the city recently and was not properly logged. This same wagon was at the Janice farm. After researching the magic item residue and investigating the farm, you met up at the General Library at the Halls of Learning and discussed what you learned. As we begin, it is the evening of Agil 16th. It is a warm evening, but it has begun to rain. It is now overcast and gray. And I will move you over to the map. You are now at the library, like I said. So what do you do?
Now we've got a few things we can look into. One is that it might actually be worth going back to that farm and seeing if there's any other clues, because the wagon may have been tied there, but did you guys find any information about how many people were associated with the wagon?
Not real.
Like, yeah, checking for footprints might be interesting. Other than that, we can still.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff was like burned away or covered in stuff afterwards, so it might be kind of hard.
Well, if it's not far, it might be worth checking. Otherwise, probably not a huge deal. But beyond that, of course, if we can find out where Delore lived and take a look at his place for clues. And then, of course, there's always going to the Golden Dice early, see if we can find out anything.
For sure.
When is it that the game is supposed to be?
It's in a couple
Tomorrow.
days.
No, the
Tomorrow
next day.
night? Is it tomorrow night?
Tomorrow? Okay.
Okay, so we have a day and a half to kill, right?
And no murder sprees.
And of course, if you decide that you don't have anything to do, we can fast forward time.
I think we should probably see if we can find something to do.
All right, so what are you going to do?
I think we should try to case and scope out the golden dice a little bit more tonight, just so we don't get super surprised by anything when we're there.
Sounds like a good idea.
What
Yeah.
time is it right now?
I think it was like
It's in the
midday.
evening, so I would say probably around 5 or 6.
Maybe we should just wait a couple hours till it's dark so we're not looking super suspicious. Or is that worse? I don't actually know. Yeah, that might be worse. Yeah.
I mean, it's open at night, so there's no real hiding at that point. It's kind of, I almost imagine a kind of
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Vegas strip or something that's pretty lit up or
Yeah.
something.
The lights don't go off. Yeah. I don't know if I really want to go and find Dolores' house, because like at the end of the day, I don't really want to scare him too much into like not giving us information.
Yeah, but it's hard to scare a corpse
That's true. They
Yeah.
might kill him. That's true.
if he's not
Well,
already
might,
dead.
Yeah, he might already
He
be
might
dead.
already
yeah.
be dead. That is, yeah. Actually, you know what? You're right. How would we find out where he lived?
Even
Well,
the
there was
captain
his
the captain
soldier
that we,
friend knew.
yeah,
Ask him.
We can ask him. And didn't we need to ask him what Dallor even looked like?
We
Oh,
got
we
that
did get a
information.
description. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
In fact, let's see, where was that? Here we go. Blonde hair, human, mustache, and small. Okay, I screwed something up in the description there. Silver earring and left ear, blue eyes, relatively pale skin, approximately 6 feet tall, skinnish build, but muscular due to wearing heavy armor.
For sure. Okay. So yeah, maybe we should hit up Murr and tell him that we think that Dallor might be like in danger, so we want to go to his house and make sure he's okay.
All right, is that what you're doing? You head into the garrison?
If everybody thinks that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
All right. So you pass by the common housing again on your way, and you see that there are a few less people in the streets. It's a little quicker to get through, so it only takes you about 10 minutes instead of 20 to get there. And finally, you arrive, and you still see the captain still walking around and behind the walls, and you also see rows of guard, and he seems to be running some sort of drill. So what
I
do you
don't
do?
really want to interrupt that because
Yeah.
he already doesn't really like us.
However, you do know where the barracks are.
Yeah, we can just go directly to them.
Yeah, we don't have to bother with him.
Fair enough. All right, so you go directly to the barracks, and Murr is still there. And as you walk in, he stands up, and he looks your way. And says, uh, "You're back pretty soon. How could I help you?"
Well, I know you mentioned that Dallor wasn't home when you last checked, but we'd like to follow up anyway, just to make sure that there's no signs of foul play at his home, since given what we've seen so far, there is concern that he might be in danger.
He thinks about it for a moment. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, but I think you have advantage because he's inclined to help you at this point, but he's still hesitant.
Would you rather lead the way as far as arguing the point?
Galen. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that case,
That's
what do
fine.
you say?
I actually was gonna say something very similar. I was just gonna say we think that Dallor might be in some form of danger, so we wanted to check on him at his house to make sure he was all right, or see if there was any evidence of a fight at his house. So we would want him to know where he lived.
Okay, go ahead and make your persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. So
And I wholeheartedly agree. I wish I'd said it first.
how do I turn on?
Way upper right corner.
Top right, yeah. It's
Uh,
really hidden.
yeah, I was just.
Okay, so yeah,
Jeez,
he
Frisbee.
nods. He seems hesitant, but finally he says, "Yes, he lives in the West Tenements. Most of us guards, they pay us pretty well. You know, we tend to live in more common housing. But, well, Dallor, he spends his money so fast, that's all he can afford." And at this point, he gives you directions to the particular tenement building.
Thank you.
And I am going to reveal the flag now.
Oh, Delore House, number 30, right?
Yep, so down here, 36.
Okay.
And then Mur says, "Is there anything else you need?"
Actually, let's kind of think about it because I don't want to come back to him.
Yeah. Um, well, let's see. As far as is Delore normally fairly social, or does he normally kind of shy away from visitors?
Um, Mur kind of shrugs. "I've only been to his place a couple of times. I honestly have no idea."
There.
Hmm. I know you mentioned it's in the tenements. Do you remember anything particularly, um, anything that kind of caught your eye about the area he lived in? Anything you thought was weird or that you didn't like? Or
Um, the the tenement itself is fairly large. It's got a courtyard, and it it's the streets kind of flow around it. It's kind of like in the center, and then the street splits on either side and rejoins. So that's a little odd, but not that odd.
Alrighty. And did Delore always work the night shift for guard duty, or do you guys schedules ever rotate around for that?
The schedules change. We switch who works at night versus who works on the day every couple of weeks, in order because most people don't like the night shift and they want to spread it around. Sometimes you get extra night shift as punishment.
If Delore likes gambling, I kind of imagine he's probably an up all night sort of person.
Yeah, so if he's not here, he's there probably, but
Uh, Other than gambling and home, do you know of any other land work? Do you know of any other place he's likely to hang around?
mm, sometimes he leaves the city to head out. I'm not sure where he's going, but yeah, sometimes he leaves the city.
Probably leaves
Do you know
home.
which gate normally?
The northwest gate.
Yeah.
Which actually reminds me, has he mentioned any tragedies recently in his life?
No, he seemed before everything happened. He seemed happy enough.
Do you know when's the last time he went out of town or out the gate?
Oh, probably 5 or 6 days ago, maybe.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Does he talk much about his girlfriend?
No, I kind of got the sense that he had one, but I've never actually seen her.
Hmm. All right. Well,
Are there
anybody
are there
else?
any are there any people from the Golden Dice that tends to stay in touch with him pretty frequently, considering how often he goes there?
As far as I can tell, they mostly just hang out with him there. Maybe there's some other places on the boulevard, but I don't know. It's mostly just the Golden Dice, as far as I know.
He hasn't ever really been in like deep trouble with money if he's
Oh, he's
been on
always in
side or
trouble
something.
with money. He never has enough, and that's why he's in the tenements now. He actually kind of got kicked out of his old place because of lack of payment, I think.
Anybody else got anything?
Not really, no.
Uh,
That's about it.
no, just we can try and check that out. Let's see.
Yeah, let's go check his place then. Make sure he's okay.
Okay, so you leave and you go through the tavern district on your way. You see the you see a shanty town. You see buildings in quite bad disrepair, and then finally you arrive in in the tenement area. And I'm going to go ahead and move you to the map. Okay, so yep, you find yourself heading to the south along the street, and you see the large tenement building that was described right in front of you.
How tall is this building?
It looks like it's 3 stories.
All right, and does it look like there's just like maybe a main entrance or something, and the residences are accessible from the inside, or do they open straight out to the street?
It looks like you don't see the residences from the street, so it looks like they probably open up to the interior courtyard. And there's maybe a door or two, but you suspect that the main entrance is going to be through the courtyard.
Well,
Let's head around.
indeed.
I say go this way.
All right.
Oh, you're a clockwise type of individual, huh?
Yes, sir.
And as you start heading around, you see that a lot of the buildings in the area are in disrepair, especially this building to the right here, who it looks like parts of the roof have collapsed. And so on. You can see areas of the street where it's muddy, or you see the occasional mold growing. You see along each of the corners, street corners, you see beggars and people, of course, walking up and down the streets. So what do you do?
I'm gonna kind of pay attention to any of the people I see. Do I see anybody who's regarding us oddly?
Go ahead and make I guess, an insight check. Okay, yeah, you're looking around, and people seem to be in a little bit of a hurry. They seem to be. You see some people who are actual craftsmen, or women. However, they don't seem to work in this area. You'd guess based on the condition of the buildings, but otherwise, nothing looks strange to you.
All right. Yeah, I guess I head into the courtyard area here.
Let's go in.
Yeah, you start heading in the courtyard, and you see that there are several people. There's a person kind of standing around who moves out of your way as you come in, and you can just see people sitting in benches, chatting quietly. You see a woman sweeping the concrete, and you can see an actor. A well in good condition. But you also see trash in the corner. It looks like the area isn't necessarily super clean, although it's livable.
All righty. So, what do we see as far as entrances in?
So yeah, you see along the interior walls, you see rows of doors, and you see stairs leading up to the upper floors. You were told, however, that Dallor's place is on the first floor, and you were told that it was near some packing or near some large boxes.
So it looks like the southwest corner.
Yeah, so probably over here. And the door that looks like it's probably Dallor's door, based on the description, is closed and locked.
Alrighty. Actually, probably don't want to stand too close there. What kind of, is it just like dirt ground there, or?
Sorry, this is dirt, and then there's some grass. So, you're asking something else?
No, that's what I was looking for. Just
Okay.
so any evidence of much activity at his door? Footsteps, footprints of different sizes.
Yeah, go ahead and make a survival check for tracking. Yeah, you're looking around, and you see two pairs of tracks going to the door and leaving together. It looks like, and then a separate set of tracks that looks like it was probably later, um, or fresher, I should say, arrive and leave. And based on your description from Murr, you suspect his second set of tracks is from him.
All right. Now the first one, you said a pair?
Yeah, so there's basically two sets of tracks to two different people.
Okay, for the first time.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Anything noteworthy about those footprints?
Well, I guess you got a 21. So the one set is obviously fairly large. Looks like men's boots. The other one, the footprints look smaller and definitely not boots.
But like regular shoes then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, from in here and looking around, because since there are people hanging around, what are they all doing?
They seem to be. They glanced your way as you came by, but they seem to be ignoring you for the most part. You have an older gentleman sitting over here on the bench, who's talking to another gentleman sitting adjacent. You have a worker kind of digging at some weeds. You have a person standing next to the well, seems to be lost in thought. You have looks like a thuggish type of person near the trash, or near Galen, who seems to be chewing on something and spitting. And then finally a woman to the left who seems to be sweeping the stones.
Alrighty. Galen, did you want to go ahead and ask anybody about Dallor? They've seen him. Notice anybody suspicious other than us?
Kylon.
Sorry, what was that?
I was wondering if you wanted to talk to anybody or around and see if they've seen Dallor lately or if they've noticed anybody suspicious with him.
Sure. I'll look around and see if I can find the person who looks the friendliest, or who would be like most open to talking.
You'd guess probably the worker, since he's the one not talking and doesn't look too angry.
Okay. I'll go up and talk to him. I'll say to him, actually, it's probably strange. I'll say we're friends of Dallor. We were wondering if you had seen him around recently.
He looks up and he says, yesterday, I think. I haven't seen him today.
Oh, weird. Was he with anybody yesterday?
Yeah, I think there was a woman with him, but I'm not sure. I didn't pay much attention.
No, okay, thank you.
Sure. Tell when you find Dallor, tell him that I expect my 8 silver back.
I'll tell him. Hopefully he won't forget.
Yeah, it's probably a take a number and get in line sort of scenario.
Yeah. Okay, so he was with somebody yesterday, so honestly, he's probably not going to be in his house, but we can still check.
All right. Although, I don't know what kind of. Well, actually, I don't know. This is pretty official business.
I mean, I didn't want to tell them, like, we're investigating something.
Yeah, but I mean more of the whole. How much authority do we get to exercise as far as investigating here?
Oh yeah, can we like break into his house? What do we like? They
Breaking
didn't they
in? No, of
say?
course not. I'm talking about allowing ourselves onto the premises.
Okay, for
I
sure.
believe we should have authority for that.
Didn't they say by any means necessary
Yeah,
at the beginning?
I think
Am I
they did.
mistaken when they said get the Kyl hold on. Kylon
Uh,
out of the city by any means necessary?
Jeremy, the body is at the farm. How long had they been burned?
Yeah, you were told that happened 2 or 3 days ago.
But when I guess I didn't make the check, so I can't ask. Never mind. But okay, 2 days. That's fine.
Hmm.
Strange.
Let me guess. Romeo and Juliet tried to fake their own death so they could run away with his newfound cash and get out from under their debt here in this town.
Maybe.
Do we want to go ahead and go back to the farm just to double check for clues? Because we can always come back and deal with this. I mean, well, plus also, I think before trying to go in, I'd like to verify that we're actually allowed to do so, because I don't want us to overstep our authority.
I'm pretty sure we're allowed to do so, yeah.
Jeremy, did he say when he was talking to us, did he say by any means, or am I remembering that wrong?
Um, I don't think he said by any means, although he said it was obviously very important.
Yeah. All right.
Well, there is also the whole thing that I'd rather not have a bunch of spectators, if
Yeah,
we're dealing with that part.
that's true. Okay.
Well, as you're,
Although,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to try one thing. I'm going to take an icy paw and knock on the door. I think
Yeah,
I forgot to do
exactly.
that.
Just
Okay,
knock on his door.
you knock on the door and you hear nothing.
Hmm.
By
However,
the handle. Oh, sorry.
as
Go ahead.
you knock, um, a person walks out of one of the other tenements, and he walks over to you, Pico, since you're the one knocking, right past Oreo, and says, "Excuse me, what are you doing there?"
We're checking on Dallor to see how he's doing.
Oh, that scoundrel! If you, I'm actually in charge of these tenements, and if you see him, tell him that he is 2 months behind on his rent, and if he is a third, he will be evicted.
May we have access to his domicile so that we may see if we can find some clues as to where he might currently be?
And why would I do that?
Don't you want to get paid?
Yeah, I'll
I
step in. I'll step in too
I
and be
do
like,
want to
yeah,
get paid, but I do not want to get arrested. Once he is evicted, then we will of course open the door and remove him.
okay. Hmm.
Well, we
You are
do
on
have,
official business, guys. Sorry, go ahead.
which is true. Well, we do have some serious concerns about his health, and we think he may be involved in a situation that may have put him in danger.
Do you truly believe that?
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
Oh, wow.
He thinks about it for a moment. You do seem to be serious. Well, move aside, and I will open it. I will stand back as you investigate, just to be sure. And at that point, he has you step aside, and he steps in and opens the door. And you see the interior of the room, and then he steps aside and allows you to enter. And as you enter, you notice that the place is a bit of a mess. You can see that there's a candle that's still burning, and it seems to be a very large, long-lasting candle. But this indicates to you that these candles generally don't last more than 12 hours. And you see that there's debris and there's trash piled up. You see um, the drawers in his dresser open and clothes missing. And it looks like, and you even see partially prepared food on the counter that was just left behind. So what do you do?
Prepared food still sitting on the counter.
Yeah.
One question, since you mentioned the candle would be no more than 12 hours, we got any clue as far as how long it's likely been burning based on the height of the candle?
It's almost done. So not much. It's hard to tell exactly how long, but not much. Not more than a couple hours.
All right.
And
Okay.
well, is it okay for us to go in? Because if so, I want to try something.
Yeah, he's stepped aside for you to enter. That was the idea to opening the door.
Well, no, I'm telling the rest of the team because they're all still standing outside, and I don't know if they're just standing out for something or
Yeah,
if
let's go ahead and look in here for any sort of clues. First, let's just kind of look and just take in the scene a bit more, just to make sure that there's anything. But yeah, it sounds the food. What kind of food is it? Is it anything that might?
It looks like some sort of vegetables. Maybe he was making some sort of soup, but it's just vegetables at this point.
Jeremy,
All
can I do
right.
something with
Looks like
can I make an argument for this in the sense that I want to see if there's anything specifically hidden in terms of I don't know, maybe he put some sort of secret envelope under his pillow or something, but like in that sense, like can I make an argument for that?
Like
Um,
maybe he has a false back to one of his drawers, maybe for a little hidey hole or a loose floorboard.
yeah, I think so. Um, yeah, go ahead and make a perception check with advantage because of that. And so, what exactly are you looking for as you roll?
What I just said, like things that are potentially hidden that he doesn't want anyone to find.
Okay. All right, so you're searching around, and um, you do find some women's underclothes beneath the bed, and you also find a crumpled, mostly burnt letter. That it's crumpled and most of it's burnt, but it looks like there might be some readable text if you were to open it.
I point to you guys to come in, and I don't know who's good at extinguishing or making sure things are better than they are, but that someone look at that.
I can cast mending on it to try and help
Worth a
it
try.
not explode.
Okay, so you cast mending, and that seems to make the paper more firm, and so you're able to unwrap it without it falling apart. And when you do so, you see that it was some sort of letter, and most of it is burnt away, but you see the name Janice.
Are there any keywords just in the sentences that we can see?
Like I said, most of the text is burnt away, but you do see Janice because it's basically at the top of the letter.
So that would suggest it's to her then. Of course, he could have sent a message to her and she came to him.
What's this giant splosh of water here, or maybe not water.
No, that's exactly what you think it is. Just a giant splash of water. It's like somebody spilt something and didn't bother to clean it up.
I think he either was abducted or left extremely rapidly.
Is there a back window to this place?
There is not. There are no windows. It's basically just a small tenement with a single door.
Pete, you check for footsteps by the door to see if he entered before he left, or if he just
You're in
left by
robot
himself.
mode.
You have to say all that again.
Oh, sorry about that. I was saying, Pico, do you want to check for footprints by the door to see if people came in to get him out, or if he just left by himself?
Well, we already saw all the footprints I think we were going to find. We saw him leaving with, or arriving and leaving with a pair. That sounds like that might have been Janice, given the size of the footprints.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones that presumably were mirrors. Although, yeah, it might be worth double checking in here to double check if I can find any evidence of somebody other than those two in here. Or some trying to debate on what I'd be looking for. You said it's kind of disorganized in here, but is it like dirty at all, like a bunch of debris or anything?
Yeah, there's
Or
debris, and it's definitely dirty. You can see underneath. I'm just gonna move you real quick. You can see like trash piled up in the corner. It looks like Dallor was not a clean person.
all right.
I was gonna say, does it look like lived in dirty or ransacked dirty?
Looks like lived in dirty.
I guess I'm gonna look in the grime and see if I see any things like handprints or anything like that. Anything that, of course, if that's the thing, I'd have to find like evidence of 3 sets for that for there to be anything conclusive. I guess it's worth checking to see if I see anything that doesn't seem human.
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check. All right, yeah, you're looking around, and you do see handprints and feet prints and whatnot, but they are all human.
Alrighty.
So it's looking like he just ran away.
Probably with his girl.
Mm-hmm.
Then what body's at the farm right now that had a bracelet on?
Yeah, that's why I was saying Romeo and Juliet faked their own death so they could run away. But yeah, where'd they get the stand-ins?
Anybody else? Anybody else want to search in here?
I was gonna say, yeah, I've got kind of search for everything that we were already looking for. Can I go through like this pile of trash here, just looking for any clues about where they might go? Or is there any plans? Is there like a brochure for a different city or a map or like a ticket for a caravan out or something?
Fair enough. Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
All right. My owl has a +3. Can I have him help me just scope for visual?
I'm not sure the owl would have. It's not a human, so I don't know if it would know like what a brochure or a ticket or whatever would look like. Um, so
all the help.
so I don't think so. Go ahead. What do you say?
Said all help look.
Well, in that case, if you got someone else helping looking, then you got advantage for that.
Okay.
Good thing too. However, as you're searching, you do find some scraps of trash and some looks like some old dishes. You find what looks like some broken shoes, um, some a few bits that were left behind, but unfortunately, you're not seeing any sort of tickets or brochures or maps or notes or anything like that. Whether they were never there or they were just smart enough to take them, you don't know, but you're not definitely not finding anything like that.
One other thing I'd like to check for is presence of blood on anything, particularly clothes or furnishings.
You do not find any blood.
All right. Okay. Well, it is interesting that he tried to burn that letter. So yeah, it does seem like there's some sort of secret trying to be kept here. Um, but yeah, no signs of foul play here. I mean, in the apartment specifically. Uh, let's see, that the property manager's still there, right?
Yeah, he's standing watching as you guys are looking around and sifting through the trash and everything.
How often do you interact with Dallor?
Oh, not very often. Mainly it's me pounding on his door to try to get the rent.
And if it's 2 months overdue, I imagine he's probably been avoiding you for a while now then.
Yeah.
Uh, do you know anything about a girlfriend or significant other of his?
I think I've seen him with a girl before, but I tend not to pry. She
Alrighty.
is pretty young, though. I wonder. I wonder what the parents think of that.
Do you know the family?
No, but she is young enough that um, I'm pretty sure the parents would have to be involved.
Alrighty. If you see either Delore or that girl, could you take note of when you saw that in any details, and let us know?
How would I do that?
We can always check back here later, or if you actually, would be better to go to the West Garrison, or maybe the Nexus Guild might be the better place to. Yeah, if you drop the message off the Nexus Guild, that should you should be able to get that to us. Um, uh, just message it to Pico.
All right. Well, if I got time and I see him, big ifs in both cases, I'll certainly do that.
I reach into my pocket and take out 2 silver coins, and I press them into his palm as I shake his hand. I'm sure you'll keep a good eye out.
And as he pockets it, he says, "Well, I have time, but I still don't know if I'll see them. But I'll
Well,
keep an eye out."
if we see him first, we'll make sure to persuade him to pay his debts.
Appreciated.
All right, I think we're done here. Thank you very much for your help.
And at this point, he kind of shuffles everybody out of the room, and then closes the door.
All right. Well, at this point, I really want to get a look at this farm myself.
We're thinking there's some body doubles in there.
Probably. Would it be too much if I go to my particular guild and see if I can dig anything up based off of what we found so far while you guys go to the farm?
That's not a bad idea. And you've got like the underground thing going, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I will take you back to the city map now. And I guess we'll start with. So you're gonna have two groups, right? You're gonna have Oreo on her own, and then everybody else.
Pretty much.
All right. So we'll start with the main group, and then.
Char will go with Oreo, just in case.
All right. Cool. All right. So we'll start with the main group. So what are you guys doing?
Always a wise decision to leave a bird alone with a cat.
Mhm.
She knows he is friendly.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and. Well, actually, why don't we go out the northwest? Well, wait. Which gate did we have to go out to get to the farm in the first place?
It was the northwest gate.
Yeah.
Okay, way out the northwest gate. I want to ask there if Dallor was seen going out of town recently and if he had a girl with him.
Sure. So let me deal with this. That was annoying. All right, so you head to the northwest gate. It takes you about 25 minutes to get there. And by this time, it's probably starting to get dark. And all right, so you arrive, and you see that it's just as busy as ever. And you see the dwarf, who now you know as Brett Dull, and you see her still standing off to the side and yelling at anybody moving a little too slow or slouching a little too much. So what do you do?
Go ahead and walk up to her and ask if she's seen Dallor or a girl with him leaving town anytime within the last week.
She looks at your way and says, "Yeah, something like, oh, I want to say roughly a week ago. He came, or he left through here, and then he came back with some girl. Um, and they've done this before. I haven't seen that happen much, but it's always possible that he's leaving at night, which obviously you're not allowed to do, but I wouldn't put it past him at this point."
Do you know anything about the girl? Was her name or what her name was?
No, he never offered to say.
Hmm.
And outside of their work, I don't need to know.
All right. Well, I guess since daylight's burning, we probably better get out to the farm again while it's still light.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's about 2.5 miles, so you make it pretty quickly, and you get there. The sun's starting to set at this point. Well, sun's starting to dim at this point, but you do arrive with a little bit of light. So what do you do?
First thing is, let's see, I'd heard for wagon tracks. I want to look and see if I can find these tracks and spot where the wagon would have parked.
Okay, so you find the tracks. They seem to park in front of the main farmhouse, and it seems like they just went up to the farmhouse and then left approximately the same way they came.
All right. First thing I want to do is pull out the rope I'd use and measure the width of the tracks, see if they match up.
They do. There's 3 sets of wagon tracks, and one of them matches.
All right. As far as that set of wagon tracks, I'm gonna search around for footprints, any signs of objects being loaded or unloaded.
And I'm gonna go ahead and help him with that.
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check with advantage. All right. So yeah, you're looking around, and it does look like there are some footprints around the wagon. It's The ground is charred in this area because of the recent fire. There's ash all over the place, which seems to have covered up the footprints, so it's hard to track them. But you do see at least 2 people that got in the wagon, maybe 3, and probably 2 people that left the wagon.
So 2 to 3 people getting on it and 2 getting off.
Yeah.
This girl, does she live with both her parents or just one?
Based on the bodies, it looks like there's probably a mother and a father, although it's really hard to tell because there's also farm hands. There's probably about 6 of them who are on the farm during the fire. The mother, father, and presumably the daughter, they were all in the main house, and the farmhands were not, which is how the only way you can tell the difference.
Yeah, and
But
that's
again,
what I
that
was
is
looking at
assumptions.
because if three people got onto this wagon, it could be the mother, the father, and the daughter, and then they had two or three body doubles get off, not knowing they were about to be executed.
Now, one question I have is as far as the footprints getting on versus getting off, is there evidence that, like, are any of those footprints the same, or does it seem like the people that got off would be different from the ones that got on?
I would say one set of the footprints is definitely the same. The other two, it's hard to tell.
Hmm. And are we just dealing with standard humanoids? Anything unusually big or small about any of the prints?
Let's see. So, one of the footprints looks like they're smaller shoes. The other two look like they're boots, but otherwise normal humanoid.
So Dallor was on duty. So the girl, she was brought into town. So the question then would be, who would be swapped around, if anything? Of course, it could still be the same. Hard to say. Yeah, and just to verify, the one set of footprints that's consistent isn't the small ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, so it looks like she boarded afterwards, so somebody must have picked her up. I guess we can go ahead and search the property one more time, make sure we're not missing any other clues. You mentioned farm hands. If they weren't in the house, was there a separate spot for them?
Yeah, so they're basically out in the fields at the time, but for some reason they were burnt along with the crops.
Does it look like they were trying to put out the fire, or if they were just caught off guard, or just stood there while they burned?
Based on their positions, it's unlikely they just stood there. But whether they were caught off guard or trying to put out the fire or panicking, you honestly can't tell.
Um, let's go take a look at those bodies, see if there's any signs of having been attacked with any ranged weapons or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, you search the bodies, and based on your previous perception, I would say that you're pretty sure that you don't see any signs of physical harm outside of the fire.
Of course, physical or fire does plenty of physical harm anyway, if weaponized right. So,
True enough.
Body had the bracelet on it.
That was what you. It looks like the daughter. And that was one of the bodies inside the house. And
Yeah,
the reason why it looks like the daughter is because it's smaller than the other two. But it's
that's exactly what I
still
wanted to do.
mostly adult, still adult size, just smaller adult.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to measure the height of this skeleton or corpse.
Okay, yeah. So you try to arrange it, and then measure it. It's about 5'6".
Okay. Now the housekeeper guy, he said she was a very young girl. Maybe we should find out exactly what her size and dimensions are.
might be tricky if we don't know we even have that person. Um, Now, do we know for sure that there was only one daughter?
No.
Of course, even if there isn't, another possibility is that we could be looking at some sort of doppelganger situation.
Or a two-timer situation.
I don't follow on that one.
Guy is dating the one sister and he has an affair with the other sister behind the first sister's back.
Well, I'm thinking more in terms of the identity of a body. Like, okay,
Well, that's actually kind of what I was thinking too, but if you picked one over the other, then it might have been well, no, he's probably not that evil.
oh, I see where you're going with that. Although that kind of falls under impersonating, but I guess the motive would be different. I don't know that we're going to find anything else here then. I guess we can go ahead and go to the golden dice.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, there is one last thing I was curious about. Where did this fire supposedly start?
supposedly started at the wood stove, and essentially in the house.
Okay, I'd like to examine that to see if it's just wood ashes, if there's oil residue on the ground, how the burn pattern looks can tell you whether or not it was a liquid fuel accelerant or if it was just, like dry brush.
Okay. So yeah, you can. Do you have any specific skills for that?
Um, hold on.
If not, you can make a
Investigation.
perception. Sorry, say that
I've
again.
got investigation.
Yeah, no, that's a general investigation skill. I meant something that would tell you about fires and that kind of thing. But you probably don't.
Oh,
So go ahead and make a normal perception check. You could actually make investigation as well. That'll work.
thank you. All right, you helping Dave or no?
Sure.
Thank you.
Dave, do you have? Oh, you have perception, so that's fine. Go ahead. You have advantage. All right. So yeah, you're looking around, and fire seems hotter than you would expect, but you're unable to find any other evidence of anything else strange other than the sheer heat.
Oh, one last thing. Maybe you can do this one, Pico Bibber. I don't know. Um, it was hotter. What about magical fire? Telltale signs of magic.
Yeah, I guess would it be possible to use the arcane spell lore to see if I could get any idea if any sort of fire spells might have been involved here?
Okay.
I can help. I can help. I have proficiency in Arcana.
Sure. Go ahead and roll against your arcane lore.
Normal or advantage?
You have advantage because you're getting pointers from Ragu. All right, so yeah, you're looking around, and as you're sifting through the ashes, you noticed a few really tiny, hard to spot pieces of crystal, and it looks to you like this might have been the crystal itself reminds you of some items you've seen before that can be used to essentially create magical fire.
We're going to try and collect those up. I've got Tinker's tools and some tweezers or something to try and pick up as much of that as possible.
Fair enough.
Well, it is interesting that so far from what we're seeing, it seems like the evidence is the people involved don't necessarily have magic capability of for themselves, or at least not everybody. Hmm. All right. And we got anything else then?
So all I can think of is this. We can take this to my contact later.
All right. Well, maybe we'll head to the golden dice now.
All right, so you
Or
start.
I mean, find Oreo first.
Right, so you start heading into town, and now we're gonna switch back to Oreo. So Oreo, what are you doing?
I want to go to the Society of Self and find Ezria Ostrom.
Okay, so you make your way over there, and as you're passing through, you pass through an area you've spent a fair amount of time wandering around in, but you pass through some marketplaces, and you pass by the palatial estates, which are just as the name suggests, are giant, noble-looking houses that where a single house might be the size of a tenement, but instead of packing in a whole bunch of families, it's just a single. Anyway, you make your way to the Society of South, and let me find your person here. Looks like I did not put him in here, but that's fine. Anyway, you find your you find the guild, and you ask for your contact, who arrives a few minutes later. How may I help you?
I wondering if there might be some information you can help me with. Um, we're trying to find some people that I guess are missing, although no one knows that they're missing yet, or you don't know exactly their whereabouts. And we're under the suspicion that they might be in danger, but now it's becoming more and more obvious that something else is going on. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe the group in general might have some idea of this individual we're looking for or the people that he's associated with.
Perhaps.
His name is Dallor. He's part of the West Barracks group, uh, but as far as we've gone and searched, they don't know where he's at other than just passing us where he lives, and the place that he's at currently just looks like it's been shuffled about and no one's been able to see him.
I
Does Dolores
see.
stand out?
I do not recognize the name, but I can certainly look into it. Um, why don't I have you come back probably in the morning, and I'll let you know if I can find anything.
In that bucket of people of things that you could look into, it seems like this individual is also very tied up with the golden dice. How much information do you know offhand now about the golden dice itself?
Yes, it's a fairly successful establishment. You you have it doesn't exactly operate. Mm, it doesn't follow the law very well, if you catch my drift. It, tends to be a lot of under the table dealing, shall we say, that happens there, as well as, of course, the normal gambling and drinking. But I haven't partook of the place myself, so I don't know much beyond that.
Are there any particular names that are recognizable, but think maybe like gang bosses or something of that sort that maybe people just know about but they don't really talk about in the open?
Let me think for a moment. Um, there. I can't think of any names at the moment.
Okay.
But
And
again,
then,
I can take a look. I haven't had much dealings with the place personally. It the northern city. We haven't. We're still busy infiltrating, if you know what I mean. So
okay.
anyway, if you come back tomorrow, I can see if I can give you some sort of important name, perhaps.
Okay. Um, then in that bucket of things to look up, since it's all gonna pretty much be IOUs, um, what happens to people who don't fulfill a certain underhand deal? If you can look that up for me. I'm fine to wait.
what happens if they fail to live up to their end of the bargain? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, correct. What is the MO of this particular place if things don't go according to plan?
Mm,
Is it the
oftentimes, from what I understand, the offending person will be given a number of chances, and if they fail to provide, then eventually they will disappear. And depending on how grievous their offenses are, sometimes people can go a little too far, and sometimes their family disappears as well.
okay? Okay, fair. Last question. Does the guild have any kind of logs or records of, mm, I don't want to say famous or anything, more like the types of farmers that reside on outside of the walls of the perimeter, just kind of like a directory for lack of a better word.
We don't keep those kinds of records. You might need to seek out the civic district. There's several, but they tend to have records for mercantiles and farms and various other things.
Okay,
Um, you you'll probably need to search for one of the record houses.
got it. Alrighty, that should probably do it for now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And as you leave, where do you go from there?
Um, I will probably start heading toward the golden dice.
All right. So you eventually arrive, and by the time everybody gets there, especially Oreo, since she had to probably spend around an hour getting from one side of the city to the other. So by the time everybody arrives, it is definitely nighttime.
All right, here we are back at the Golden
Okay.
Dice. I bet Eric Avalos would have hated places like the Golden Dice.
What
Okay.
did you say, Dave?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
hear any of
I
that.
didn't really hear him.
Sorry, I said, here we are back at the Golden Dice. I bet Eric Avalos would have hated places like the Golden Dice.
yes, I believe so.
Who?
I don't know.
One of Ragu's family members.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I believe he would.
Okay.
Alrighty. So you find yourself in front of the golden dice once again, and I haven't put tokens for each one of them, but there is a line waiting to get inside. And one of the people in that line is Jackson. So what do you do?
I guess we should get in line.
Okay. So yeah, you get in line, and somewhere behind Jackson, and eventually Jackson gets to the front, and at the front there's a bouncer, some rather large, burly dude who doesn't look like he has any weapons, but based on the way he moves and acts, you get the feeling that he might not need them. Anyway, Jackson shows up, and he says, "Hey, you know me, Jackson." And the bouncer looks down at him from his 7.5 foot tall height, and he says, "I've never seen you before." And he said, "Yeah, Jackson, Jackson, get out of here." And then at this point, you see Jackson just get tossed, and he lands out in the mud, and then he runs off.
So we probably don't want to say we were sent by them.
No, that's probably not a good idea.
No, with any luck, our little dice charm will get us in.
Anyway, at this point in time, you guys have reached the bouncer, and he looks over at your group. Who's in the lead?
I probably would. Just to double check though with everybody. We were gonna say we were sent by Dallor, right? So that we could get in.
Either sent by the well, obviously not Jackson, but either sent by Delore to get in, or just show him our charm. Maybe that's our pass.
What charm did we have again? I'm sorry, I
The
forgot.
golden dice.
Oh yeah. Well, why not
Um,
both?
I have that on me, so I can make sure to be wielding
Flashlight.
that.
I'll say we were sent by Dallor. We wanted to see if we could get in tonight. And then I nod to Pico, and then we can show him the die.
Well, I don't know about Dallor. He's a regular, I'll give you that. But I don't think I'm going to let people on under his name. Do you show him the dice?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you show him the dice. He looks there. It's like, but why even bring up Dallor? You got that. And then he looks at you, Pico, and he says, "Well, you have the dice. You're in charge of this group as far as I'm concerned. But before we move forward, are all of these people with you?
Not
Even
the whole line.
even that and that thing?" And he points at the Sudaga and the automata.
Well, as far as the Sudaga, I find that he does wonder keeping people honest when it comes to gambling. And as for the automata, well, I'd say he's probably more trusted than most.
Well, as I said, you're in charge of this group. If something goes wrong, especially with those two, it's your head. So keep them in line.
Like his sentence?
Understood, sir.
Is that a good idea?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Like his him. Is that a good idea?
No,
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 not
no,
at
no.
all. You will get thrown.
I kind of like the idea of keeping my head attached to my shoulders.
All
Since
right.
I'm behind him, if he does decide to hiss, I'll just kind of bop him on the top of the head and then nod at the bartender or the bouncer. He and I are the same height, so it's like, nice. We'll just keep walking.
And then he gestures for you to go inside.
Let's get
All right.
gambling.
Okay. So what do you do?
So as we get in, I'm gonna make sure we're not around too many people. I'm gonna talk to the group, and I think we should kind of break down what we're all gonna do. I think that a couple of us should go gambling and talking to people to kind of like get the feel of the place, and then some of the like more tracky type people should maybe like look for doors and like ways that people come in and out, anything like that.
All right, the tournament's not going on until tomorrow, so we might not see him, but maybe we'll at least get something.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and move your tokens inside, and as you do so, you see. Initially, you see what looks like a large tavern, and it seems to be, full of people. There are people drinking and eating. You see a bartender. Off to the left, you can hear music filtering through the door, and it sounds like several people playing stringed instruments and singing. Off to the right, you see a serving woman leave off to the right, and you can hear laughter and more discussions, and glasses being pounded on the table and that kind of thing. So, what do you do?
Let's sit down somewhere. Do we want to split up for a little bit?
We could. What is going on back here? Is this just more? Is just more of the building back here?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
so
can
the door's open. That's why you can see through it. And over here is where the music's coming from. You can see a large stage with 3 singers. You can see benches with people sitting
What the?
and enjoying the music.
that a
You
door?
see a closed door to the south, and you can hear sound from the other side. It doesn't appear to be locked.
Let's not barge in there just yet.
Okay.
And
I don't
then
wanna-
off to the right side, you see more of the tavern with more people sitting and drinking. You can see someone kind of standing there with a scroll open, and he seems to be reading about local news. It seems to be that there is some sort of turf war going on between two different groups of thugs, but nothing particularly interesting. And then to the south, you see another door and hear more sounds from the other side, but it is currently closed but not locked.
Am I standing near a set of stairs?
There is a set of stairs. It heads up, and there's a rope across the entrance and a sign that says no entry.
I'm sure that's just a guideline.
Okay.
What about this right in front of me, or just to the north of me? Is that a door or a window?
It is a door that leads to the back. Actually, let me delete some other characters real quick so you guys get a proper view. There you go. Anyway, yeah, so it leads to the back, where and you actually recognize through the window as being that area that Oreo was checking out before in the back of the building. And the door is currently not locked.
And are these gambling tables here where everybody's hanging out?
No, these tables are just normal tavern tables. People are eating and drinking.
Oh, so the gambling's probably happening past over here in that door.
Okay.
Yeah, there were closed doors on either side.
All right. You guys want to go through one of them?
Maybe we should ask some questions. We've got a bartender right there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What do you want to
Where
ask?
am I? Okay.
All right. So yeah, as you approach, the bartender waves and he says, What can I serve you, fine fellows?"
I forget ragu. What's your preferred poison?
It's a good house ale.
What?
Serve up a good house ale for my friend here, please.
Oh, okay. That won't be a problem. And what can I get for the rest of you?
Um,
All the same.
All right. So he serves up. Looks like 4 people are near the bar. So currently he's serving up four ales. And as he passes them out, he says, "Why can't I find it? Sorry, hold on." He says, "All right, that'll be 8 coppers."
All right, hold on a sec. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Where is the cash bucks page? There it is. 8 copper. All right, well, I will go ahead and drop a silver and expect 2 copper in return.
Okay.
Dang it, he's changed my encumbrance.
He raises his eyebrow. I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
All right, I think it's time to start asking some questions. So we hear Dallor is a regular around here.
Oh, yeah, he is. I'm kind of surprised he isn't here tonight, but I guess he must have something else to do.
Guess he's got to psych himself up for tomorrow's tournament.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, with him it's hard to tell. He sometimes he has money and sometimes he doesn't.
Yep, I hear this time he will, although I'm sure he's spouted rumors like that before.
Yeah, time will tell. We'll see what happens. At this point in time, I don't believe half of what most people say. When he
All
when he
right.
puts the money on the counter, I'll know he has money.
Fair enough.
So when's the last time you've seen him in here?
Oh, probably last night actually. He came in to drink for a bit.
Say anything interesting?
Not that I know of. He usually drinks in that back room over there, and he points to the store.
Did he
Which
come
store?
alone?
This one over here.
Okay.
Did he come alone?
Usually, I saw him come with this girl once, but that was a couple of weeks ago.
Do you remember anything about the girl?
Oh, she was, I don't know, 5.5 feet, maybe a little taller. She had dark hair and a pretty face. I want to say that she was somewhere between 17 and 19.
Thank you very much.
Interesting. Well, let's take our drinks and head back, yeah?
Yes.
Yep.
So, how everybody all hyped up for this tournament?
Yeah, lots of people come in here. It's just a big mass of gambling. We have some professionals that come in, and they get to all compete. And if anybody can beat these professionals, they get extra winnings and that kind of thing. Yeah, I should be excited too. Generally it could pay out for us. But if you want my honest opinion, I'm kind of tired of. Never mind. I shouldn't say it anymore. But anyway, yeah, it's exciting times.
Do they normally set up anywhere special or just a regular room?
There's two main rooms, and usually you will start in one, and then if you manage to win a certain number of games, you move on to the second room.
Alrighty. I'd have to ask more about that a bit later.
Fair enough. All right, so what's everybody else doing?
I'm going to change my encumbrance a bit. I am going to drop this guy a couple of coppers as a tip.
He takes it. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so what's everybody else doing?
Let's head into one of the gambling rooms
Yeah, let's check it out.
back there.
All right, so you're gonna open the door by Oreo?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair enough. All right, so you open the door, and inside you see. Oh, that's a weird shadow. Anyway, inside you see a room full of people throwing dice at the table. You see some of them are playing card games. You see this one really complex game with a bunch of wooden pieces with different symbols on there and cards. And then there's some dice they're rolling, and they're shifting things around. It doesn't make any sense. There's money changing hands. Yeah, so it seems like there's a lot of excitement and activity, and you see a couple of people really well dressed who seem to be running the tables.
Do I see any games I recognize?
You'd probably know about the basic dice games. That's probably the only thing you'd recognize, though.
Yeah, I don't really know much about gambling. Alright. Let's
But yeah, nothing. I mean, they're certainly excited, but watching it, it's there's only so much you get out of that. Although you do notice that a person is kind of standing off on their own with a scroll, and every once in a while, one of the well-dressed people will raise their hand, and the person with the scroll will make a mark.
interesting. I have no idea what he's doing. Do you have any idea what he's doing, Oreo?
Um, no idea. Don't really gamble.
Hmm.
All right.
Well, this looks like a fairly high rollers table. I wonder what the other side looks like.
All right. You can go ahead and move yourselves over there, and I'll go ahead and open the door.
Can we
Alright.
do like a normal wisdom check to see if we know what the game is at least, even if we don't have a gambling skill?
Yeah, you can make let's see what that'd be. Yeah, I guess wisdom would be fine. Go ahead and make a flat wisdom check. You should be able to see through the door on the other side. There you go. So yeah, once you get to the other side, you notice that this that the other side is a bigger area, and you can see similar setup. You see well-dressed people running tables. You see similar card games and games of tokens and dice games, and you see a person this time sitting at least, who is making marks on their scroll whenever one of the well-dressed people raises their hand.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Only one way to tell
Yeah,
what
is it
that is,
sort
I
of like
guess.
bingo going on here? I mean,
You
I did
don't
make
think
it.
so. You think he's just recording.
Maybe they're like recording when the house loses.
How long would it take for us if I were to just stand there and watch for like 5 minutes? How much of the game would I be able to pick up?
You would probably be able to pick up how the dice games work pretty easily. The card game you'd probably have to sit there and be able to see multiple sets of cards for maybe half an hour. The complex game with the tokens and everything, you may never pick that up without specific instructions, of course.
I don't think this is the place to learn either.
Nope.
We should probably see what we can do, and then maybe if we were going to enter that tournament, practice up a little bit
Well, that was my point of
tomorrow.
trying to see what I can learn,
Hmm.
but like without asking anybody, just watching.
Yeah, like I said, if you spent like 35 minutes or so, you can learn the card game and the dice game, which would be plenty enough to play at least.
So I'm going to go back up to the bartender and ask. So, do you is it mostly regulars, or do you often get new people in?
Um, Mostly regulars, but we do get streams of people come in, streams of people leave. So there's change.
Anybody particularly noteworthy in, say, the past week, especially the past couple of days?
It thinks about it for a while. It's like, well, you already asked about Dallor, but he's been here for a while. There's that girl, but he came with him. Sometimes we've had some other guests, um, but I think in the last week or so, any additional guests have been guests of members. Kind of like you and this other group, but for the most part, I can't think of any other new members of note. I mean, there have been a couple, but they didn't really stand out as being special.
Hmm.
Is there any one
Um,
person that runs this place?
There is, and he tends not to want to be disturbed. And he actually looks a little nervous as he said this. If he wants to talk to us, he'll show up.
um, so I guess you've probably got a good pulse on the people here. As far as the regulars, is there anybody here who's usually more friendly and talkative?
Friendly and talkative. Well, if a lot of the people in the tavern rooms tend to be fairly talkative. usually the serious leave me alone types are either in a corner by themselves or they're focused on the gambling.
So I guess my next question would be that aside from yourself, if there were somebody one wanted to talk to get a good feel about the goings on of, well, pretty much anything, who would you go to in this tavern?
Mm, who would I go to? Mm, I'd probably talk to one of the serving ladies, actually.
All righty. All right, well, thank you very much. And let's see, I guess there's, looks like, am I seeing two here? One just the north of me and one just
Yeah,
southwest of Fire?
there's one here. There's one over here. Um, yeah, I think those are the only two you can see at the moment.
Which one seems less busy at the moment?
Probably this one here. She seems to be standing and waiting for somebody to need something.
Uh, Good evening.
And she looks over at you and she says, "Well, hi there. Would you like a drink?"
I've still got my ale that I'm working on, thank you very much. How familiar are you with the patrons around here?
Decently familiar, I guess.
Well, I've heard Dallor has developed a bit of notoriety in this place.
A bit. He comes in. Sometimes he has money, and sometimes he doesn't. Um, I've heard rumors that, well, rumors from him actually, that next time he comes in, he's going to have a lot of money. But we'll see. I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, I've heard similar rumors, actually from an associate of his, but of course, that associate got his news from him personally. All bets are off. Pardon the pun. Have you seen him with any companions lately?
Um, Not recently, but I heard him talking a lot about somebody named Janice. I think I've seen her in here once, but yeah, usually at some point during the night he starts talking about her.
Hmm. You ever say anything interesting?
Um, yeah, I think he seemed to be talking about how her parents hate him or something. And I guess, they're talking about what to deal with that or once he said something about running away. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they seem to have trouble with their parents. And honestly, if I were her parents, I'd probably have trouble with them too. So,
That's quite interesting. Um, uh, if based on what you've seen of Dallor, what do you think he would be likely to do to solve a problem like that?
mm, probably run away. He's not the confrontational type unless he's really drunk. And then he can get swingy. But I haven't seen him do anything worse than punch somebody.
And well, alcohol does do a good job to neutralize a combative tendency with a dearth of skill. Alrighty. All right, well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and find some of the rest of the group here, see if anybody else has found anything interesting.
Yep, so what's everybody else doing?
I'm studying whatever games I can learn in this room.
I think
Okay.
I'd probably drop in on one of the dice games.
I was studying the games in this room.
So, Galen, are you talking about playing in the dice game or are you just watching?
Oh no, if I know how the dice game works, then I'll play. You
All
said
right.
I would kind of be knowledgeable about it, so.
Yep. Let me check something real quick.
If I can tell which table isn't throwing around a lot of money, I'd probably go to that one.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, you find a fairly low money table. And I'm just going to look at one skill thing real quick. All right, so in that case, if you're going to sit there and you're going to try to gamble, so basically the way it works is that you have to put down. Currently, it's 5 silver pieces in order to
Mm-hmm.
play, and you can bet up to 45 silver pieces. So how much are you going to bet?
Um, I'll put down my 5 and I'll bet 10. Total 15.
All right. So in that case, I'm going to have you make a intelligence check and compare it against against everybody else, and then we'll see where you wind up.
Sorry, what was that check again?
Intelligence.
Okay.
At disadvantage because you've already decided to gamble.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, so yeah, you're
Oh
playing,
boy.
and you think you got a handle on the rules, but luck just isn't with you, and you basically fail at every single roll, and you lose all your money,
Oh no.
all the money that you bet.
Yeah. Oh, so the 5 is just security.
Yeah, so 5 and plus the amount you bet, and so I think you said 15 total, so yeah, that's what you lost.
I lost 10. All right.
Yeah, that's 15.
Yeah, so everybody has to put down at least 5 to play, and the
Oh,
winner
okay.
gets that, and then whatever additional you bet. So it's a total of 15.
All right, I'll ride one more game.
All right, so you put another 5 in, and how much do you bet?
And no bet. No bet. I just want to see if I can make some stuff back.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead and roll.
It's still an intelligence.
Yep.
Okay. Give me a second. Intelligence.
And
go.
so there are 3 other people at the table. And so that's 15 plus 1 bet 10 and another bet 10. So 25, 35. So you gain back 35 silver.
Oh man, it seems
Oh,
like gambling is worth it.
I gotta be careful though, because I can get encumbered very easily. 35
I would
back?
not go
Yeah.
again. If I were you, I would not go again.
If I were me, I'd say thanks. You just paid for my ale, and then step away.
And one thing you probably want to pay
And then-
attention to is the roll in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
saw
it's a
that.
plus 10. He rolls a 1, which is like, oh man. It's still an 11.
That's
even though
why
I
I'm
rolled a
leaving.
1. Yeah.
Well, if you find yourself getting overburdened, I can help relieve you of the sins of the coin.
Yeah, I bet.
For sure.
Alrighty. So yeah, you played. What's everybody else doing?
Well, hey, you know,
I'm
I've heard
just
of
watching.
a fabulously wealthy celebrity cleric who's just a prodigy at these things.
Yeah.
You guys have heard of Jemmy, right?
Yes. I
Well,
think
he's
I remember.
famous back east where I'm from.
He likes
No
to
idea.
travel
What's a
around a lot,
Jenny?
so you never find him very often.
Alrighty. So yeah, so you played your game. Oreo, you're studying. Pico, you were talking. What is Ire or Devach doing, etc.?
Oh, I'm just gonna finish my drink and just watch. from a
Okay.
distance.
All right.
No way I'm playing this game.
Fair enough. So you've played the games. You've learned as much of how to play the games as you're going to get just by watching. So what do you do?
Play a game. Lose some money.
Nuh-uh. Nope.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
definitely not
I'm
rolling against
gonna.
my intelligence. I've got enough wisdom to know that I shouldn't be relying on my intelligence.
Fair enough. Okay.
I'm gonna spend a bunch of my newfound silver buying people in the bar area drinks and talking to them. Just
Oh,
kind of
you want
chit
to buy
chat.
me a drink?
Yeah, sure, dude. I'll buy anybody in
Hey,
the
all
party a drink,
right.
bro.
Score.
But like wine, ale, whatever they need. I'm gonna try and talk to as many people as I can to first of all like set myself up in their mind, and also just gather information about the bar, game, and drama about regulars or anything like that.
Okay, and how much did you say you're spending?
Oh, I can spend like, oh, how far do you think 10 silver would get me?
Probably enough to get each person multiple drinks.
Okay, that's good enough for me
Considering 8
then. 10
copper
silver it is.
bought 4 L's.
All
Yeah,
right.
sure. 10 silver, probably good.
All right. So yeah, you spend 10 silver and you start talking to people. So go ahead and make I guess probably a persuasion check, but you have advantage because you put everybody in a good mood with drinks.
Yay. Okay. I clicked. Did it show up?
Not yet. There it goes.
That's bad.
All right. So yeah, you got
Hold on. I'm gonna throw in my favored by the gods
okay.
because I don't want to do that bad.
Fair enough.
Hold on. I have to double check the roll for it.
2d4.
Fail. Oh. 2d4. Okay.
All
There
right.
we
Looks like a
go.
17 total.
Yeah, that's much better.
All right. So yeah, they're drinking and they're talking, and they seem to they seem to be really friendly with you. And one of them notices the weird horns, but for some reason nobody seems to care. Maybe it's the drink, or maybe just because that's how friendly you are. Who knows? Anyway, and so yeah, you're able to you're able to get some information about the bar and Dallor. Um, One of the things that you find out is that Dallor specifically called the girl he brought in once. He specifically called her Janice. And the last time he was here, he seemed uh, she seemed to be talking a lot about how Janice said that the problems with her parents are solved, although but they don't know what that means.
Okay.
And Janice
That
said that?
was that said recently?
Apparently, Dolores said that Janice told him that, and when he was
Hmm.
drunk. He was just spouting out, and Janice told him
Right.
that the problem with her parents was solved.
Yeah, do I know
Um,
when that was said approximately?
That was said, like, I think it was last night.
Oh boy.
So that was said
That's
after the fire.
Oh no, sorry, not
that's
not
yeah.
sorry. I take that back. Not last night, the night before. The night before. But yes, that
Still,
would have been that would have still been after the fire.
that's not good. I think Janice may have firebombed her house or something.
You saying she's a bad influence?
It's not the first time a daughter would try and kill her parents to go be with her boyfriend.
Now,
I mean,
let's not jump to conclusions. She might just be a promising pyromancer.
fair enough.
All right, yeah, and otherwise you're able to talk to some people or hear stuff, and it's not a whole lot interesting. Although one thing you find out is where the key to the back door is hidden. Apparently, it's hidden in one of the trash piles in the back.
Got it. I'll make sure to let
Oh.
Oreo know about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good
that probably
shit.
takes a good hour of doing that. So what's everybody else doing while he's busy talking up the locals?
Oh, at some point between jumping in on that, I'm gonna suggest to Galen might want to find out if there's any activity here in the daytime. Trying to find out, basically trying to figure out
if we come back in the morning, if it's going to be clear here.
Sure. I'll see when they what their opening and closing hours are.
So what you're able to gather is these people, the people you're talking to, they're definitely not here during the day, and as far as they know, the place is locked up tight.
Okay.
But yeah, they don't know anything else.
Got it.
All right, so that hour passes, so what are you guys going to do?
I don't know. Do we have anything else to do? I mean, we've gotten a good look at this place. Although I guess from the outside, I'm kind of curious if I can see any evidence that it's one of those establishments that people live above, or if the owner, or if it's like a dedicated business where anybody who works here lives elsewhere.
From what you were able to see before, you you think that maybe somebody lives here, and certainly based on the stairs, there doesn't seem to be. They don't seem to allow guests up the stairs. So you suspect that some people might live here.
Although I guess I could go either way, since if they serve food and stuff, they have to have a back area anyway.
Right. So yeah, like I said, you can't tell for sure.
Well, should we call it a night then, and come on back tomorrow for the big game?
I think so.
Okay. So you leave. I'm going to put you back on the main map. And you are together, so let me get you back down to one token. All right. So you've left. So what do you do now? But at this point in time, it's completely dark out. It is definitely nighttime, and everybody by now is probably feeling pretty tired. So what do you do?
Let's head back to our homes. Yeah, maybe we can meet up in the morning.
Although, are there still a bunch of beggars out?
There's a couple.
I do want to drop off my evidence at my contact before heading out to bed.
You suspect at this point in time he's closed up shop by now.
Okay. I'll have to remember to do that tomorrow.
All right. So is everybody going off to bed then?
Yeah. I stand.
All right. So you wake up the next day. Let me go ahead and move you back to. Oops. Hold on. There we go. Let me move you back. All right. So you head back to your rooms. Devak heads back to the Sadaga ward. And once you get back, as part of your housing, they give you your meals. So you have a simple but filling dinner, and then head off to your separate rooms. And you were able to sleep through the night, and so this is a short rest. So you get whatever you normally get back from a short rest as you sleep, and you wake up the next day. And as you wake up the next day, it is another hot day. There's still raining steadily outside, and it is gray and overcast. So what do you do?
Yeah.
Actually, there's an errand I wanted to run first. Where's a good weapons shop that specializes in more unusual weapons? It's like where Oreo might go to pick up equipment.
I'm assuming you're doing this the next day because the weapon shops in the evening are when it's dark, they're probably closed already.
Yeah, that's why I said the next day.
Okay, fair enough.
In the morning.
All right, so yeah, there's a merchant district right over here where you're likely to find weapon shops, and there is one that seems to specialize in specialized weapons for dwarves, tabaxis, and various other races. So yeah, you're able to find it. It is Danny's specialized weapons. So what do you do?
Good morning.
And you see a dwarf actually behind the counter, and he looks up and he says, "Good day. What can I do for you? I'm Danny."
I'm Pico, and I'm looking for tabaxi weaponry. I'm curious if you happen to have any, basically knife claws.
Mm, he thinks for a moment. Let me check in the back, and he goes back and he comes out, and he seems to have a pair in his hand as he appears again, and he says, "These are fine quality, directly from the Tabaxi homeland, from what I understand. But unfortunately, I don't have many of these, so I'm gonna have to charge you 50 silver."
Let me have a look.
And as you look at them, they are exactly what you would expect them to be. They seem to be made out of steel and fine, high quality leather.
And 50 silver, you say?
50 silver, yep.
I'll take them. I hand him 5 gold.
Okay. Well, thanks for your business. If you need anything else, just remember the name Danny.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
Oh,
Actually, I was
before you
wondering, was there-
go, we have a special on spears. Spears are are on sale for 3 silver off.
Well, I'm not much of a spear person myself, but I'll be sure to let the rest of my group know. Maybe somebody there is interested. Oh, actually, speaking of spears, do you have their very tiny cousin, darts?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I do. And he goes to the back and starts rummaging around, and then he comes out with a case of darts, which are not on my list. So let me look at that real quick.
I think they're 5 copper.
Yeah.
If that's what you're
All right.
looking for.
So he brings out a case of darts. There are 10 of them in the case, and he says, I'll give you this case for 5 silver."
Sure.
Okay, so he gives you the case, and like I said, it's 10 darts.
Pico, were you buying those for you, or?
Negotiate later unless you're there.
Oh, yeah.
Can I actually join him at the weapon shop?
I don't see why not. Sure.
Okay. I want to see if they have any like unique spears that aren't just like the basic ones.
As you look around, he says, "Well, we have the standard spear. You see a normal steel spearhead. Well, we also have tridents and let's see, pikes as well. But I'm afraid that's about as fancy as we have." But those will also be on sale for 3 silver off.
I'll pass. Thanks though.
Okay. All right. While Devok and Pico are shopping for weapons, what's everybody else doing?
I'm going to the Society of Self and just picking up any information that they were able to get. They said the next morning, so next morning.
Yep. Fair enough.
I was gonna drop off at my contact.
Okay. So let's deal with Pico real quick. Anyway, you find that the name of the owner of the Golden Dice is Ezheim. Or Ezheim. Which I will put in here. And you also find out that you do find out that there was a family called the Masha that of which Janice was a member of that family, or is a member of that family, and he tells you that family recently died due to a fire. Um, but someone with the description of Janice was spotted recently after that event. And you also find out that that family only had one daughter.
Spotted where?
Apparently somewhere near the northwest gate at night, late at night.
In the past day?
In the past 2 days. It, the time's kind of unreliable, but sometime in the last 2 days.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and getting back to you, Ragu. So you make your way to the shop, and of course you see your friend in there, who I am looking for. Sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. So you see Gimbal in the shop, and he says, "Oh, you're back. I'm afraid I'm still looking into your crystals. I haven't found anything yet. These things take time, boy. They take time. What can I do for you?"
I understand that. I know they take time. Actually, I was dropping something else off. I was wondering. And I take a little folded paper envelope and I open it up and I said, I believe this might be the cause of something.
He looks at it and he brings out his monocle and he looks closer and he says, "That looks somewhat familiar, but we'll have to look into it."
I
Well,
found them.
we can put this with the other thing, and we can hopefully get both those things resolved soon.
Already. These particular crystals I found in a fire, if that helps.
Oh, it does. That might narrow the search. Well, you keep finding lots of curious things, don't you?
Yes, especially with all the magic regulations. Lots of people are seeming to have these. I'm wondering if there's an influx.
You might get a lockdown soon if that's the case. Nobody likes a lockdown when some idiots decide to flaunt this stuff a little too much.
Yes, that would be bad, especially for business.
Yes. All right. Is there anything else I can do for you? Another secret or trick in your sleeve?
Well, nothing very definite yet, but this is... When I get more information, I shall come back with it.
He nods. All right, I'll see you then. All right, so...
Actually, out of game, Jeremy, I had a stupid question.
Sure.
You published that paper about off time and gaining favor and stuff, right?
Yeah. I was going to actually mention the downtime sheet when we get to the point where people need to have downtime, but go ahead.
I was just wondering, did I gain favor with my contact because I gave him more information than he had last time I saw him?
You definitely made him more friendly towards you.
Okay, because he does deal with information as much as magic items, so I didn't know if that was, particularly valuable for his particular skill set.
Yeah, and he may be able to give you discounts or extra information or charge you less for getting information, that kind of thing.
Okay.
All right, so that's Ragu. Is there anybody else doing anything in the morning? Okay, so I will assume that where are you guys meeting?
Um,
Well, it's probably way too early for the golden dice. So probably meet back over at
we
the
can't
living quarters.
hear you, Dave, if you're talking.
It's probably too early to be going back to the golden dice, at least as a whole group. So probably meet at the living quarters first.
Okay, so you meet in the tavern in Inn District near the South Gate. So now that you're all together, what do you do?
I share the information I got from the guild to everybody.
I say
What did you
I
say?
dropped those.
That I share the info I got from the guild to everybody. I just reiterate what Jeremy
Oh.
said earlier.
Okay.
And I dropped off those crystals, and hopefully we shall have some identification on them soon. But apparently, since we're finding so much magic, it might cause us problems later. If we have a magical lockdown because of all of this, all these people using one-shot items.
Now I'm wondering, Oreo, how do you feel about checking out the golden dice after hours, or more like before hours, given the time of day?
I can definitely do that.
So do you
Go
want
alone
backup,
or
or
I don't know if you want it. If not, I can handle it pretty well, I think.
I'm not the least sneaky person in the world.
I start
Let's
making my way
see.
over. You decide if you want to join or not.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll go along.
Yeah, I'll tag too.
Or does everybody else want to be there just to cover the outside?
I'm fairly sneaky as well.
Let me go ahead and get you guys back on the map here. Let's see. So there we go. I'll just do this. Oh wait, so Devok, you're going? Did you say? Or is it just Oreo and
Yeah,
Pico?
for sure.
All right. So you three show up
And
at.
Ragu showed up.
Okay,
He said he was
Ragu's
gonna
going
tag
as
along.
well.
Yeah. I said I would tag along with Pico.
How busy are the streets?
It's during the day, so the streets are moderately busy. You can see people walking around. It's very hard to find, at least for certain streets, find a time of day where there aren't people about, except maybe in the
Well,
back alleys and back streets and whatnot.
now you did say that you gave us a pointer to the particular window in the back here that enters into the spot, right?
Yeah, so or it's a door, but Galen was able to find where the key is hidden.
Okay, so that's where I'm gonna start making my way, and I'm gonna do it stealthily. So I want to make sure that no one's seeing me. Go to the back and start going through the trash.
Fair enough. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
So is there people just going about their business, or are there people loitering around like beggars or anything?
Most people are about their business. There's a couple of people loitering around over here. There's this singer always seems to be there, and a couple of people kind of hanging around.
Can
But
I
these
use
people are kind of
camouflage?
just walking.
Can I use camouflage for this?
Once you go to hide, you can, but when you're sneaking, I think it's just a straight roll. Okay. And Ragu, are you sneaking or are you just walking normally?
I'm walking normally. I'm being nonchalant, but I'm just gonna kind of loiter around here as early warning for her.
Okay, fair enough. And while she's sneaking up there, what are Pico and Devok doing?
At the moment, I'm just checking to see what Ragu's doing.
Okay, so you're checking Ragu. Ragu's checking everybody else. Devok, what are you doing?
I guess I'll do the same.
Fair enough. All right, Oreo, you're able to go and dig through the trash, and you're given fairly specific instructions on which pile it is and everything. So you're able to go to the back and dig in the box underneath the trash and then dig out the key. And so it takes you probably a good 5 minutes to find it just because there's so much trash, but you do find the key.
Okay, and because I don't have the rest of the map, how does this back area look? Is it just considered an alley?
Yeah, it's basically an alley. To the north, a couple of feet will be the back of another building.
Okay. I'll go up to the edge here just to see who's there, and I suspect I see Ragu.
Yep, you do.
Um,
I'm keeping a lookout. I nod if it's clear, or I'll give her another signal if it's not.
I
So,
just kind
I
of
don't know.
It's the
I kind
same.
of point I kind of point you to kind of get closer just so that I can let you know that I got the key, but I can either go in and do all this or somebody can be somewhere a bit closer here. Like I don't know if you want to just stay out all the way out here.
Coming.
Yeah. Actually, I'm curious. Actually, before I move up, looking up at the building, does it look like the bottom floor is bigger than the top in terms of floor square footage?
It looks like it's 3 stories. So the first 2 floors are about the same size, and then it narrows out a bit for the third floor.
And then as far as that third floor, given the way that the roof is, like, I don't know, you're probably not seeing my dragging. But basically, like where I'm hanging right now, is there actually kind of like a low point on the roof, something that would be concealed well from the street if somebody were up there?
Yeah, it's definitely a sloped roof, and then there's a side of the connected building because it's really 3 different buildings all connected together. And so yeah, there's definitely a low point over here, and a low point over here, and here, and here.
All right. All right. I'm actually kind of interested to get up on there. And are there windows up on that third floor?
There are windows on each floor, including the third floor. But the windows are all blocked off right now. There's curtains that are closed on all the windows right now.
All righty.
Okay, so if the situation here is that you guys are cool with me just going in, then I'm just gonna start opening the door, and if you guys can either stand outside or somebody can come with me. I don't know what you guys want to decide, but I'm gonna start opening the door.
Okay. So you
Want
open the
somebody with
door.
you, or you're gonna be sneakier without?
What?
Oh,
Did you want somebody with you as backup, or are you gonna be sneakier without?
I mean, I don't know if forget the rules with stealth there, Jeremy. So if somebody's with me, we both roll and however many successes are it's gonna determine the whole group. Is that what it was again?
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, for a group check, at least half the people have to succeed.
Yeah, and I can't use camouflage if I try to go in this way because I
Yeah, so basically you're just trying to sneak in. If you try to hide, um, or hide in plain sight or that kind of thing, you can use camouflage. For example, if you want to sit there and pick the lock and kind of hide from view or something, you could probably use it. But if you're walking down the street or whatever, then it's just normal stealth.
right, but I mean once I'm inside, if I'm making sure that I want to stay out
If
of
you want to stay
sight.
hidden, yeah, then you can use camouflage for that.
Okay, so Devok, what's your stealth like?
Not too bad. Let me check real quick. 3, and I
Okay.
have proficiency in it.
Okay.
Okay. Are you wearing like heavy metal armor though?
I am.
That's
So
going
I
at
can probably stay
disadvantage.
outside. I can probably stay outside and like stay watch like outside.
Okay. So maybe give us a big knock or something to kind of let us know that something's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Do that.
I've got a tailing stealth of 6, so that should be pretty good for movement.
Yeah, if you're tailing someone, but if you're just sneaking around, then that would probably be your 3. 3 is it or 4?
4.
4. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna say that because if I can use camouflage inside, I have a 9. That's a. I would wanna make sure are all successes.
Okay. In that case, we
So
can stay outside, make any noise you want, and we'll come rushing in.
okay. So yeah, I'll start opening the door.
All right, so you open the door, and I'm going to go ahead and move you down to the other map. The people
Sure.
are still there, um, but you can just ignore them, pretend they're not there for the moment. So anyway, you wind up getting inside, and yeah, you get inside. The place is completely empty, despite the way it looks. So what do you do?
Okay. I want to very carefully start making my way over. And actually, before I even enter, is everything still as open as it is right now? Like I see, is the way that I see it, or is it
Yeah,
closed
the
doors and stuff?
doors would probably be closed and locked, actually. So the doors are locked.
Okay, so first thing, well, I mean,
Before she gets too far in that, I'd actually like to try and get up on the roof from this corner here.
Okay. So, yes. So go ahead and give me a climbing check with a DC of 10.
All right, so it's just going to be, how's that, athletics, I think?
Yeah. Okay. So you're able to climb on the roof. It's a little bit hard to kind of get over the overhang, but you manage it, and you are now on top of the roof.
All right. And you said there were windows here, right?
Yeah. There are windows. They are currently blocked off with curtains.
They look like heavy curtains that don't really let light through.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and press my ear against one of the windows, see if I can hear any activity.
All right. You press your ear to the window, and I'm going to have you make a Constitution check or a Constitution save. Okay, you press your ear to the window, and suddenly you get a violent shock, and you pull your head away, and the side of your head is kind of smoking a little.
That's not good.
But otherwise, nothing else happens.
All right. Well, I guess I'll press my ear to the wall instead.
You do so, and you hear footsteps on the inside. They're soft. They're not in the adjacent room, but they're definitely nearby.
Sound like they're getting closer.
Not particularly. They seem to be staying about the same distance.
All right.
Okay, so while you're doing that, Ragu and Davak, are you doing anything?
Trying to look as nonchalant and not intrusive as possible. Very carefully listening for any emergency helps.
I am gonna try and get to the edge of the roof where I can see Ragu, and then wave to get his attention.
Looking.
And then I am going to, with my fingers, kind of make a little walking gesture and point at the top section of the building.
I nod.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go back to Oreo. So Oreo,
Is Oreo like right inside the door?
Not exactly. She's near the window.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if I'm standing right by the door that she just went in, maybe I can signal to her real quick what Pico.
Yeah, I think she's probably out of sight at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. So Oreo, you're at the door. It's closed and locked. What are you doing?
I like to check for traps first.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
Now, because of Dungeon Delver, I believe I'll put it back up again.
You have resistance. You have advantage. You have advantage. Okay, so go ahead and roll with advantage. Okay, so yeah, you're looking around and you're not detecting any trap on the door
Okay,
or
I'm
around
gonna
the
use
door.
the. I'm gonna try. Does the key fit into this door too? The one that I found outside.
It does not. It seems to only go at the back door.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and use the lockpicks on this one.
Okay, go ahead. You go to pick the lock and you spend probably a good 5 minutes on it, but it seems, after giving it your best effort, that your skills just aren't quite high enough to get through this lock. It seems to be a really high quality.
Is there a so it's just one try? I can't do anything else after that?
Yeah, so it's basically we basically consider that to be your best effort, especially since you're not under duress or anything. So you spent, a good 5 minutes on it. You could potentially spend longer if you want, or you can figure out some way to change your situation. But by spending longer, it'd be like spending like an hour on it.
I see. Okay. I want to just thoroughly look at this entire room and see if I can spot anything out of the norm. Maybe I can find a key for these spots or anything. Maybe hidden keys like similar areas outside.
Okay, fair enough. You start looking around the room, and most of the tables have been cleared. You don't see anything strange. Looking underneath, they look, they look fairly normal. Um, Looking at the bars, it looks like there is some sort of lockbox on one of the bars, or underneath one of the bars that, well, like the name suggests, is currently locked. But that's the only thing unusual that you find.
You said the box is locked itself?
It's basically a lockbox. So basically a metal box with a lock on it, that stores stuff, but you don't know what that stuff
So
is.
can I open it?
It's currently locked, but if you assume you can unlock it, then you could open it.
So can I try and unlock it with
Yeah, you
tools in
can
hand?
use your lockpick on it. All right, so you work on it, and you feel like it just barely, but you are able after about 5 minutes to get the lock open.
What keys do I find?
Inside, you find a set of 3 keys. You find a silver key, a really large silver key, but about twice as big as a normal key, and a bronze or brass key, or a brass key.
Okay. I take all 3?
Yep.
And then I start making my way back here and see if any of these match.
The small silver key does match.
Okay. Go ahead and open it.
All right, the door opens, and you find
Um,
another empty room. You see the candle's been put out, the dishes have been taken care of, the messes have been cleaned. You see stairs heading up, and you still see the same rope across it, and the same sign that says "Do not enter." The
Can I
door
make
to the south is closed and locked. So go ahead.
can I make a first perception check to make sure that I'm completely alone?
Okay. You don't see anybody, but you can go ahead and make a perception check if you want.
Just to hear, pretty much, essentially, if I hear footsteps or stuff like that.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I'm still listening at the wall upstairs.
Okay, fair enough. You're listening, and you don't hear any footsteps close enough to hear.
Can I also make another quick sweep across these tables and such and make sure that there's nothing hidden that I can just
Sure.
pick up along?
So yeah, you look underneath the
Uh,
tables, on top of the tables, and as far as you can tell, they're just regular tables with nothing special.
Okay. I'm going to start making my way up, and again, very stealthily, gonna see if any of the keys match past the rope in place up to the top.
So yeah, once you get to the rope, you could just step over it or go underneath, or just lift it. It's not locked or anything. It just has that sign. Um, but once you once you once you get near the rope, your hairs stand up. You haven't
Can I
actually touched it
do it?
yet. You're just looking around it, but it's just getting close causes your hair to stand up.
Can I make a check for traps?
Okay. And it is most definitely trapped, although you're not sure how. But your sixth sense kind of kicks in, and it tells you that touching that rope is a bad idea.
Touching it. So I don't get the inclination that if I were to nimbly like do a forward somersault over it, that I might trigger something.
You don't think so. You think it's something to do with the rope.
So I will take every precaution possible to jump over the rope.
All right, you jump over the rope. Go ahead and make a dex check with advantage. You want a DC of 10. Okay. You jump over the rope and you land on the stairs and nothing's happened.
I keep going up, but I want to make another check to see again if there's any sounds as I get closer to the top.
All right. So you get you get close to the top of the
Do I make a
stairs.
check or am I just listening?
Um, yeah, you go ahead and make your check. But you get close to the top of the stairs. You see a closed door, and the door does appear to be locked. And you listen as you approach, but you don't hear anything.
Okay. Do I need to make another check if once I'm at the door it's trapped as well?
It is a different object, so yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna do that again.
Okay, you approach the door, and you don't think it's trapped.
I like to check if any of the keys, specifically the large one, happens to fit this one.
It does look like the large key fits.
I will go ahead and use it.
Okay, you've put the key in the door, and you twist it, and I need you to make a con save. Okay, and as you twist the key, you feel this electric energy course into you through the key. And at that point in time, you kind of get flung back, and you take 4 damage as you land on the stairs with the key still sticking in the door.
Did that make a lot of noise or anything?
That's a good question. Were you trying? You were in shock, but you were probably trying to land as gracefully as possible, right?
Yep.
So go ahead and make a Dex or acrobatics check, and see how much noise you made. So you landed, and there was a bit of a thud. You managed to, you managed to land on your feet, but kind of fell to the side and hit the wall. You think you minimized the sound as much as possible, but it was definitely there. And Ragu, if you're near the door, you probably heard a thud, like something hitting a wall, although you just barely heard it.
All right. The door's open. Stick my head in really quick, seeing if there's anybody, but I'm gonna go in stealthily but quickly.
Okay. You go in the door. You should be able to see yourself now. Again, ignore the NPCs. I just didn't want to delete them. And as you're looking around, you see this door open. You see Ragu currently, I guess it's probably on this side actually, currently leaning against the wall on the stairs leading upward. So what do you do?
Well, I see her through the door, and I gesture, "Are you okay?"
There's probably smoke against her fur or something because she just got electrocuted
That's
essentially.
true.
So,
Yes, you also see smoke,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it looks like some burnt fur.
but other than that, I point to the top of the stairs and I make a gesture that there's a key stuck in there. 'Cause I don't want to talk because I don't want to make sounds right now.
And I gesture, people walking number 2 and number 3. People walking 2 and 3.
I kind of give you I haven't heard anything up here, so I don't know if it's here.
All right, I'm going to very sneakily go up
And I,
those stairs.
yeah, but
I'm
be
missing
careful
part
with
of the
the
map. I
rope.
can't see. Oh, yeah, thank you for pointing out the rope. I'm missing part of the map, Jeremy. I can't.
You could see it. She's on the stairs. So
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, all I see is like the tiniest little part of her blue
I
circle.
will move
Like,
out of the
I
way. There's the stairs.
oh
It's
well.
there's nothing else there. It's just that's where we've been.
yeah, so
looking for.
the door would be at the top. The rope would be here at the bottom. Um, there's the wall where she was at. Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to refresh. I had a problem. I actually had the last 2 inches of map cut off. I just had to
okay.
refresh. Sorry. All right. So I look at the rope and I point to it real quick, and I point at you and I shrug, point at me. How you want me to get over this?
Just jump over, man.
All right. I'll just jump over.
Okay, you jump over. It's a dex check with advantage. You want at least a 10.
Like just athletics? Or acrobatics?
Acrobatics if you want to use it. Okay, yep, you get over the rope. You're on the stairs. Oops. Yeah, you're on the stairs. At the top of the stairs, you see a large key sticking out of a keyhole and a closed door. And you see little bits of fur that are stuck to the key.
Okay. I steel myself. Open and close my hand a couple of times. Get ready because I know something bad's gonna happen. But I steel myself for it. I grab the key and pull it out.
Okay, you go to grab the key. Go ahead and make a Constitution save. You've steeled yourself, so I'll give you advantage. Okay, you grab it. You feel the shock. You pull it away, and but you're able to pull it out before you take any damage.
Okay.
And you're currently holding the key.
All right. I very quietly come back downstairs. I gotta get over the rope again.
Yeah, I mean, since you got over it once, that's not a problem. I'll say you're able to get over it again.
Alrighty. I come over here to Oreo to make sure she's doing okay. I hand her the key.
You can tell from the burns that she's actually hurt pretty bad.
Okay. And in that case, I kind of gesture. You want to come? You want to leave? Are we going to call this?
We're not done yet. I want to keep going, so I'm gonna go over here and check if the key fits into this door.
The small key does fit.
No problem. I understand. I just nod and follow quietly.
All right.
I go in.
Your show. I'm here for backup.
It's empty. Yes.
I want to make a search again. It's completely cleared at the moment, or if there's some sneaky spot that I can open.
Okay, so you go looking around. Go ahead and make a perception check, and you have advantage because Ragu's helping you this time. All right, so you search around. You search under the tables, on top of the tables, the walls. You don't see anything that stands out.
Okay, I'm gonna just trying to make this as brief as possible. I'm gonna go all the way over to the other side, see if any of the keys fit this door.
It does, yes.
Go in, do another search of this place.
Okay. you do another search, and again, this time I'm not going to have you roll because there's not much to look at. And in that performance area, it seems pretty basic. You don't
Is
see
this
anything
just a
unusual.
window? That's the
That
window
is
to
a
the outside,
window.
right?
It is currently closed, and there's a drape blocking it.
Got it. And then this one, is it the same key as the other room?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and open it,
you do so.
and then one final check in this room.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. You have advantage because of Ragu. All right, so you search, and in the back of the room, underneath this table, there is another locked box. It's
I
metal.
will try and pick lock that one.
All right, go ahead and make a check. All right, this time you easily pick the lock, and you open it up, and it appears to be several bags of money.
I take all of them.
Okay. You take all of them, and you basically now have 100 silvers, 2 platinum, and 10 gold.
How many bags is there? Like 3, 4, 5 bags?
I'd probably say about 5.
All right. I go very quietly. I point to the box. I point to Oreo. I point to me, and I point one finger.
Really? Just one?
I think I deserve one bag. I came to help.
Oh, I thought you meant like we can only take a bag. I was like, no, I want to take all of them.
No, you take all of them. I think I deserve one. I
Oh
came to
no,
help.
no, that's fine. We can deal with the sharing thing later. I just want to take them all out. Jesus
I'm
Christ,
just
man.
trying to be funny. I'm adding to the character.
Oh God. Okay, fine. We take them all and we leave.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. So you have left the building. Raku, are you following?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how to get out of here.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Let me just go ahead and. Oh, you found it. All right. You have 2 characters. Let me delete one. And
All right, there we go.
Move everybody back. All right. So you have left the building. Pico, you've been listening that whole time, right? So just before they left, you heard a second person moving around, and then you hear the sound like somebody is going downstairs.
All right. Do I see them outside now?
You do.
We can't hear you.
All right. Well, I was asking if I see you guys outside, which I do. Is any of them looking my direction?
I don't know.
Yep.
Are you guys looking his direction?
Yep. As we exit, I can look up and over.
Okay. So Ragu's looking at you.
All right. I urgently do at the top floor, and I'm doing a downward motion with my fingers.
I nod. I turn around. I close the door. I very quietly whisper, "Lock it and put the key back. Let's go out now. People coming."
Yeah, I go ahead and lock it and then put the key right back where it was.
Okay. All right. And then you leave, right?
Yep.
Beaten, feetin.
Now, mind you, I do still keep the ones that I found inside. The only one I'm returning is the one from the back door.
Right. And then the other thing you probably realized already, but you left all those other doors unlocked and probably still open.
Yep. Probably.
All right.
But it'll look like an inside job with any luck. What we should have done was made a wax imprint of that key, but nobody had the stuff to do that.
Actually, I might have, because I have my forgery equipment.
Oh yeah, all you need to do is get a quick imprint of the key. We can worry about making it later. The imprint should take just a few seconds.
Do we do that? Because if that's the thing, then that needs to happen right now before we leave.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it right now.
Is that what
How
you're
long does
doing?
it-
Did you bring
how
the
long does it
forgery
take to-
stuff with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in my backpack.
Do it.
All right. That's fine. I'll say you can make the imprint of the key before you put it back.
All right, I'll go ahead and push it into the wax that I would use for wax seals and give the key back.
All right. All right, so you walk away from the golden dice, hopefully not looking too suspicious while you do so. So what do you do?
We probably do
Uh,
not want to be near here for a little bit, so maybe we go
Yeah,
somewhere else to chat.
yeah, we can definitely go to back to the apartments or to a park or somewhere where we can talk privately.
and actually, is there something like that near these slums?
The nearest park, or the park district's way down here. You can potentially go over to the palatial estates. There's some parks in there. Um, let's see. Yeah, there's
See,
some palatial estates down here.
if we're in the slummy area, is there like a slummy bar that would normally be, like have a back booth or something?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of taverns, small taverns and things like that. So you can certainly find a small place like that. That's what you're looking for.
Man, look at all
I
these beggars, ears everywhere. I bet Garrett Verge would never have allowed people to become so systematically destitute. I don't think we
no,
really want to be hanging around with so many people paying attention to outsiders. I do think we should go to a nicer area to talk.
not a bad idea.
All right. So where do you go?
You're gesturing something over towards the east, like near number 17 or something like that, was it?
Well, I mentioned the palatial estates
14.
down here or over here because they have parks. The actual park district is way down here. If you want a normal tavern, then over over here there's a inn and tavern district that serves the northern gate, and they have fairly nice taverns there, normal taverns there.
I like the idea of it not being a tavern, something where people don't normally, aren't so geared to noticing people coming in.
Fair enough. So yeah, you probably want to find a park in one of the palatial districts then, or go all the way down to the actual park district.
Let's go to the park district.
Okay.
Okay.
So yep, you make your way down there. You pass through several other places on your way. It's morning and traffic is picking up, so it takes you almost an hour to get there, just getting through all the people. And you arrive at basically a district full of these lush parks. You can see that there's small lakes and ponds that have been artificially created. You see lots of trees and flowers and other plants. So lots of benches and trails to walk on. There's even a couple of food vendors in carts. And you see people kind of walking around and enjoying the place. But it's big enough that there's plenty of areas where it's secluded.
All right. So what happened in there?
I tried to show the bags of money as as part of it, but I try to be obviously very sneaky about showing that. And then I tell everybody about what happened inside with the doors, the electrocution, Ragu saving the day, and us not really being able to discover what the hell's upstairs.
I end up face palming slightly, mainly because I certainly don't have any hang-ups about alternative income, but that's probably going to get security going tomorrow night. That
Deal
might
with it,
make our job
Shannon.
harder.
Relax. It's gonna be fine. Chill. They're an establishment that does illegal stuff. They're not any better.
Fur looks even more singed than mine was yesterday. I'm not sure about your definition. Everything will be fine.
Um,
Well, as long as nobody got spotted.
That we did not. At least we didn't see anyone and nobody saw us so far.
So Galen, I heard you trying to talk, and I'm assuming that you guys eventually met up. So what were you going to say?
yeah, I was gonna ask if we had met up with them after the little heist, and if Oreo was still hurt.
And so I would say the answer is probably yes, and the answer of her being hurt is also yes.
Yeah, so I'm more than willing. I can use one of the charges on you. The how many hit points are you down in?
I'm
Meta
down
terms?
6 points.
Okay, great. I'll use one of the healer's kit
Link it.
things on you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wonder how much money
Let me
they'd have
just
had
double
on
check
hand
what
if
the
they didn't
roll.
have to worry about it.
Listen, I'm just gonna say that she rolled a 5 in that random tabaxi table, and her obsession that day was gold. All right, that's why she took everything. Just relax. It's part of what's going on.
I'm just
Well,
curious as to how much a
can't be
healing
that
kit costs.
Nope, I was
Well,
wrong.
you couldn't be that obsessed with gold if you didn't want the winnings from tomorrow.
Oh, you're full. You get 10 hit points
Yeah.
back.
Thank you.
Of course, I marked down the on the notches, Jeremy, so don't worry
All
about
right.
that.
And for her, that's the one use for today.
Mm-hmm. I'll remember.
All right. So everybody's at the park. You're all chatting. It's probably been 2 hours since you started the day, at least, maybe 3.
But I do want to divvy this up evenly so that all of us have some level of the money's on us, so that way if anybody does get caught, it's not like somebody has a whole hoard of money with them.
Yeah.
So,
All right, we can divide up the money. You can ditch the bags. And while we're talking, I would like to point out the fact that even though Pico does have an excellent idea, what are the chances that we're wind up going to have to grab our query before the game even starts? Just take him in and run.
Well, I was actually curious about checking his apartment again today.
Because if we have to go there to catch up with him tonight, then I figured the more important thing is our query, and we might not be able to case the joint or get any of the cash winnings from that night.
Sorry, you'll have to say that again.
Oh, sorry. Bit of a. Anyway, I was trying to say that if we wind up having to catch up with this guy there, then we might be forced to just, grab him and run and not be able to case the joint or do any sort of heist.
Well, the heist would be an after the fact sort of thing. I mean, this place, as far as I know, is not going to shut down the next day.
No.
But
okay, I thought you were planning for, tonight to do that.
Well, I meant like after the big events. Like, we find out all our information, and then, because we'll be in the city for a while. Imagine going afterwards after they've raked in a whole bunch of money from the big gambling tournament.
Yes, okay.
Maybe we'd have gotten a lot more platinum and gold out of it. If after everybody's done all their Super Bowl style betting.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Listen,
we might still attempt it. Depends on what their security is.
Okay, do you want me to return the money that badly? If so, I'll go through the whole
no,
thing again.
There's no point in doing that. I think it's a bit late. It's that's the kind of decision that would have been needed to have been made at the time.
Yeah.
But how about we go back and check Dallor's place, see if he's come back.
Before you do that, you should probably go ahead and decide how you're splitting up that money,
that's what I'm
since
doing
it
right
matters
now.
with the encumbrance and all that.
So everybody, take 16 silver.
Do I know where the money came from?
Same.
As far as I know, you don't, because she only talked about that to me and Ragu initially.
Because I don't take stolen money.
Yeah, me
and
neither.
Actually,
So
I probably would try to pass up on my share anyways, because I don't really care about money. It doesn't really affect me.
Well, one thing you should keep in mind is you're still going to need equipment and rations and gear and spells and whatever else. So you may not like to have tons of wealth, but I don't think your character would turn away everything.
For sure. So you said it was
I
16?
think I would at least look for an explanation on why I'm getting paid.
Before we can
It's lost money.
All right.
What's that?
It was lost money. I just found it.
Lost money. I don't know if I can accept lost money.
Either
That
way,
is
why don't you go ahead
totally
and
on
keep
you.
why don't you go ahead and keep those couple of empty bags for now? I know exactly where to get rid of them.
Wait,
We should save some for donations. We could donate to either our church or one of the things that help out the poor.
That's probably
That's
what
true.
you would do. You would take the money and then you can deliver it to wherever you think it needs to go.
Sure. All right, so did you say I got 16 silver?
16 silver.
Mm,
Ragu, you take 1 plat. I'm taking the other. And then as far as the gold goes, I don't know what the best way to divide that one is. It's 6 people and we've got 10. I don't know. What do you guys think is best? 2 or 1 per person? I don't know. Obviously, you can't have 2 for everyone, but I'm just saying if there's people that are really against having money, then they can just take 1 gold and the rest
Yeah,
take.
I'll just take one. I don't want a lot of money.
Okay, so
So I got 1 plat and 1 gold. You said
if you just want to take 1 or take 2, take 2
2.
if you
All right.
can.
Yep. 1 plat and 2 gold. Got it.
take
And
2
then
as well.
6 and 16 silver. And
So
then
who's only taking 1 gold?
I'll only take one.
And then Ire, I assume?
I was just going off the assumption I'm not taking any if I don't have a proper explanation for where it came
Oh,
from.
there you
Well,
go then.
that's more. I'll carry it if you want for
Hello?
encumbrance sake. Otherwise,
Hello.
Oh, you guys can hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
asking how much we're being given.
I think 16 silver as a baseline, and then I think you get 2 gold. I'm only taking 1, and Iron's
Okay.
not taking any.
So 2 gold is going for Ragu. Where is it? Davok, you're taking 2. Rosalind, you're taking 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Am I super
And
quiet for you guys or something?
You're just kind of cutting out every once in a while.
yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Pico, you're taking 2.
Maybe I'll decline.
Okay. Then Iris is taking nothing. Okay. Oh.
But yeah, so before actually I had a question that I forgot to ask totally. It was last night when we were in the gambling house, Jeremy. When I won the pot, did I see the dealer or the guy in fancy clothing raise his hand?
You did.
Ah, okay, so yes, it's when the house loses. I think that's what they're marking.
But actually, though, weren't you playing only against other gamblers?
You were. It was multiple gamblers there, and the house was involved, but there were other people who were playing as well.
Yeah, I guess it's still strange. The first run when somebody else won, do I know who won and if the dealer rose his hand?
Um, as far as you can tell, the dealer raised his hand when you lost as well. When you won and when you lost.
Interesting.
I suspect it's more tracking game outcomes, not just whether the house lost.
Yeah, no, that's true. I just wanted to know what was up with it.
For all we know, that might be keeping track of people who are doing suspiciously well.
For sure.
I mean, Vegas does that.
Yeah, of course.
They're a little less obvious about it, though.
Really?
true.
Like 4 billion cameras and bodyguards everywhere?
Yeah, the cameras are
You don't have
actually
to
made
raise
to be
the
hidden.
hand.
Just a quick
Well,
check.
yeah.
Did everybody accept the 16 silver?
Nope.
Yeah, I declined that too.
Yeah, I
Okay.
accepted it.
I'll take a second 16 silver or however much
As long
you
as
don't
I
want to
don't know
carry.
where it's coming from, I accept the money you give me.
So it sounds like you have 2 people who did not take the 16 silver.
People didn't, but Ragu's taking 2.
And then you can have the other second portion, so we'd each get an extra 16 silver.
Oh, hold on. Galen, you say as long as you don't know, you'll take it.
As long as I don't know where the money's coming from, I will take the money.
Then take the 16, man. I
Another
can't carry
16?
everything, so I'm trying to figure
That's
out
why I
who's
said.
doing.
That's why I said I'll carry more money if you want.
Yeah, that's what. But I'm just, yeah. Hold on, man. I'm making notes. Give me a
Okay.
sec.
So it sounds like
Okay.
Pico and Ire aren't taking any money.
Yes, correct. I mean, so yeah, Ragu, go ahead and do the double, and I'll do double and just see how that goes.
Okay, got it.
And then. Okay, and then the gold situation, it was 3 people. And actually, did you want to still take the gold too then, Galen? Or you said
I'm
only
ex-
taking 1?
I was only planning to take one, but if you have an extra, I'll take one.
Take the 2, man. Just take the 2.
Take 2 more?
No, so
Or one more?
take 2 gold total.
Got it, thank you.
Let's see. I'll see if
I'll-
I can hold the other 2.
I'll excitedly ask Ire where we should donate.
Hmm. Um.
All right. So while you're talking about that, do you have your money situation handled?
Yep, I got it figured out, and I'm good.
And you're heading to Dallor's home again, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to move you over there, and I'll move you on the map. And we will just skip the whole process of you moving down the street. I'll just put you right in there. You are currently at his home. So what are you doing?
Well, first thing first, I'm going to see if there's been any evidence of new activity to his door since the last time we were here.
Okay. So let me go ahead and move. Yep. So you are let in again, if you ask. And it looks exactly the same, except that now that candle would be out. I just haven't changed the map. The candle burned itself out, but otherwise the interior looks the same.
All right, definitely no signs of alteration. And then I'm going to ask the property manager, so no sightings of Dallor still?
He shakes his head. Not yet. I am hoping you find him so I can get my rent.
Yeah, this is getting quite curious. Well, we're going to check his natural habitat tonight and see if he's there.
I hope you
I
find him.
very.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you two go ahead. I was gonna say I very quietly gesture over to Ori. This is a good place to get rid of those bags.
I just talk normal. I can't hear you, dude. That was way too
Sorry.
loud.
This is a good place to get rid of those bags.
Okay. Yeah, I give you the bags.
Yeah. See.
No, I don't. Yeah, here, take the bags. I don't know. Never mind. Just here, take the bags there.
All right. I take the bags, and as Pico is talking to the owner guy, I start kind of going through the trash pile a second time, and just leave the bags in there
Okay, so the bags are now in the trash pile.
at his house. So if anybody comes looking, they'll think he did it, not us.
Fair enough. And I'm assuming you got rid of all the bags or just some of them?
All of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. All right, so what are you guys doing?
I'm wondering if we should walk the slum area, see if, it's been another night. What are the odds that new bodies have turned up? Actually, let's check at the Nexus Guild and ask about that.
Okay, fair enough. So you head over. You head over to the Nexus Guild, and I'm moving the flag again. There you go. In fact, I can actually move you to the Nexus Guild map so we can see that again. All right. So you head over to the Nexus Guild, and as you approach the door, you see Elru popping out. And she's like, "Hey, I didn't expect you guys back. So you figured it all out already, huh? I'll have to go tell Carl."
No. We're still a work in progress. We're just checking to see if we have any we'll give our updates and also see if there's any new news about the ongoing investigation.
Well, unfortunately, Carl is a bit busy at the moment, but I can certainly pass everything on. As far as updates for you, she bounces on her feet and then looks at Ori and looks somewhat disappointed that she's not hiding. She's yeah. If there's any news, I've been told to deliver a message to where you're staying, so you don't have to worry about that. You know, if there's any news, you'll know. So what's your news?
11 hatchlings destroyed so far.
Oh wow, that thing's really going to town there, isn't it? Yeah, I hope you find it soon.
Indeed.
We also believe that it was smuggled into the city using possibly magic.
I can barely hear you. You want to talk louder?
Sorry, let me adjust my mic. And we believe that the creature was purposely smuggled into the town.
Oh, do you? Wow, that's not too unexpected, all things considered. But you know that is a big claim. I hope you can prove it. But don't worry about that now. Don't worry. When you come back and once you figured it out, then you can worry about it then.
All right, I've got two ideas for prior to tonight. One might actually be to go to the Hall of Learning, see if there's any sort of city records, basically try to learn more about Janice and her family. And the other thing might be to go ahead and patrol the slummy areas, see if there's any signs of additional murders. And if not, then we can go ahead and try and meet with Dallor tonight at the Golden Dice.
Alrighty.
All right. Let me move you back to the map. All right. So that sounds like you are heading to the Hall of Learning first.
Yes.
All right.
And on the way, I'm going to suggest the possibility that do we necessarily want to, if we do find Dallor, do we want to engage them at the Golden Dice or let everything progress normally and try and follow him later? He might be more cooperative if he doesn't know that he's helping us.
Yeah. I personally lean to letting him go about his day and kind of tailing him and keeping a very strong eye on him. Because I don't want to like surprise him or scare him, you know what I'm saying? But like we should definitely intervene if he's in danger.
Well, that's just it. I thought we were supposed to basically nab him. You know, slap a bag over his head, carry him
Yeah,
away,
see,
tie
but
him to
that's
a chair.
horrifying.
I've got
That's
no problems with that.
terrifying.
I've got a pair of pliers. He'll talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he
like
might not talk right.
Oh,
exactly.
he'll
We
talk
want him
just
to.
fine. It's his fingernails that'll be missing.
I think what might be better is if we let him go to the Golden Dice. We're there with him. We get him like pretty drunk. We loosen his tongue a little bit, and then after the fight, we can maybe, or after the fight, after the game, we can talk to him more. And if he doesn't want to talk, then we can resort to that plan. But like, I think we should try to. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
I like your thinking, Galen.
I just think if he goes about his day as he would normally, we'll have an easier chance with him complying with us than if we just absolutely abducted him, told him that we need to know all this information. Because if we talk to him and we like kind of somewhat tell him the truth. Like, we're not here to get you in trouble. At the end of the day, our job is to get rid of some Kylon, and we just really need to have all of his information about it. I think he'll be more than likely to tell us, even if he is kind of drunk, or
Because
especially
there's
if he's
also
kind of
another
drunk.
thing. Another thing I'd like to throw in is that Dallor is not necessarily our primary target here anymore.
Hmm.
I mean, the more information we're getting, the more it sounds like Janice is potentially more of a suspicious character than Dallor is.
Yeah,
And if we abduct him, we may not find her. And if he really cares about her, he might be willing to endure any amount of torture to protect her.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah,
still
I
I mean,
need
also
to know
don't
the
want
bad
I don't
people
want
that
us to
he
be
fell
too
in with,
noticeable either.
and we
yeah,
still
but
need
we
to
don't
find the
know.
bad people he fell in with.
But yeah, but there's the problem with your line of thought. What if he's not the one who fell in with the bad people and it's Janice? You know,
Then where did he come up with the money from if he was always in debt?
well, if Janice is the one setting all this up and made arrangements to get him paid to kind of get him to cooperate using his position or whatever, he might have just been like minding his own business and like, oh, what? All I have to do is take all this money and not pay attention to something happening and do this for my girlfriend? All right. And then he
Okay,
finds out that it's more than he bargained for, but it's like, ooh, I still got paid. Somebody else can deal with the problem. I mean, he may not be nearly as in the know as what you're thinking. I mean, if he is, then great. But if he's not, well, now we've got a lot of problems trying to pick up the real tail. So that's
Yeah,
where I think
okay,
discretion might work better.
I agree. I also think that
good.
discretion will help us in that if we immediately abduct him, anybody who's watching him will know A, who we are, and B, like that something is going on, that we're on to them, so to speak. If we kind of come at him stealthily or like in a more discreet manner, they won't necessarily know that we're on to what's going on.
And especially since they have proven ability to pass without trace,
Hmm.
we don't want to give them more incentive to do that.
So, what happens if we show up tonight and he's not actually there? Because I feel like there's more to this than we're actually letting on. Because like, why hasn't he been home? All this weird stuff, it doesn't add up to me. I feel like he's not gonna be there.
He's
Like,
definitely
there's
hiding
gonna,
somewhere, but yeah, no, I agree. We should have a backup plan for if he's not there.
yeah.
So that's the thing. I mean, since there is this Janice running around, she may have made arrangements elsewhere, or well, somebody may have. So they may be staying at the same place. Again, that's where we were hoping we pick him up. If we can't, that gets to be a problem, and we're going to have to try to find some information regarding sightings of either of them. But yeah, it's looking like for all intents and purposes, we can treat his current house as being abandoned. Although we'd probably check it at least one more time, depending on what happens tonight.
Yeah,
Okay,
But right now, I mean, our best lead is the golden dice, unless you have something we can look into in the meantime. I mean, I'm going to look up some
No,
information about Janice's family at the halls of learning, but I'm kind of stumped past that point. I'm hoping that'll yield some useful info, but who knows?
hmm,
where else
I
would
mean,
we
to be
get the
honest,
information?
we might actually want to have somebody wait outside his house, hiding somewhere, tonight, just in case
uh,
he does end up showing up there for whatever reason. Maybe I don't know, get something or something. I don't know.
Good.
You know,
doesn't look
just a
like he
thought.
left anything there, but it's true. I think since he left with such haste, he probably wouldn't return.
Well, given how much you were looking into, did it look like there was anything at his apartment he might want to come back to, or did anything of any real use already seem to be missing?
It looked like he took all his weapons and armor, assuming he had any. He took the vast majority of his clothes. It didn't. You didn't see anything that he would necessarily even want. I mean, maybe there's some clothes he can pick up, but not much, and most likely he has enough on him.
That way, you know, anyway, like there could be something he's hiding there, or something we don't know of.
It's
You
true.
know,
This is true.
Although Oreo did already search for that. I mean, if there is something We didn't find it the first time, even though we were looking.
Means well hidden.
I don't know. I don't know if
I
he's
don't know.
that
It's just a
careful.
thought. It's just a thought.
Well, fortunately, I don't think his apartment's going to skip town, so we've still got that as an option anyway. We show
Where
up,
else?
big chunk missing from the tenement.
Yeah, well, I
Where
mean,
else
the
would
idea
we
was he
find
might.
information? Though?
And while
Um,
Great Nether Panther was known to just vanish when he wanted to, I don't think building structures were really good about that.
Well,
Yes,
because what
very
if he's
true.
able to sneak in and sneak out, and sometime during the night without anyone else noticing, just to get something? Right? I don't know.
I don't think there's anything really left in there for him to really want if he's got any money at all. What I was getting at is where else can we find information about this girl and her family? I mean, they are farmers from out there, so obviously they have to come into the city to, trade their goods, etc. There's got to be something
Uh,
more than just the records here.
She came from a family called the Masha family, and I was told that maybe there's a civic district or something that happens to have records of families. Maybe we can learn what that particular family is
Yes,
known for.
that's where Pico's saying we are going now. But what I meant was they're business associates and they're neighbors and friends, and like like the farmers market and the place they would sell their stuff that they farmed.
It'd still be in the same area, I feel like, because anything regarding that, the farmers and stuff, I was told, is still in that same civic
Okay,
district.
but
It's
is
just a
that
matter of
still
maybe a different
another?
spot.
Is that another avenue we can be checking?
Well, you guys have just arrived at the halls of learning, because that's where Pico was going. So what do you do from there?
Well, I can follow through with my plan for the time being. If you've got other leads to pursue, go ahead and check on those and then maybe meet back here.
Okay, we can do that. And all right, I agree with you. We're not going to just nab him, but it was just a thought.
Okay. So I guess we'll start with you, Pico. So what do you do?
So I'm going to go ahead and look up anything related to the Masha family. Um, any sort of census records, family trees, any noteworthy instances involving them.
Okay.
Just
So yeah, you go to start looking up their family history, but or anything about the family, and you're not finding anything at the library. And then as you're looking though, and potentially getting a little frustrated, hold on. Evala comes up and says, "What are you looking for, Pico?"
Well, I'm trying to find information about this family from outside of town. Their house was burned in a fire here the other day, with presumably the whole family dying. They were the Masha family, and they had a daughter named Janice who appears to have died in the fire, but there's evidence that maybe she didn't. And I'm just trying to learn anything I can about that family.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to find much here. We don't keep those kinds of records. But you can check out the Mercantile Record House in the nearby Civic District, and she gives you directions. And I'm going to go ahead and make the flag visible. And it's over here. And she says, there's a there's a person there named Roth. He's a rather old man who's a little fickle, but if you tell him that I sent you, then he'll help you out.
That would be outstanding. Thank you ever so much. You always come through.
You're welcome.
And if you should happen to see my companions come by before I come back, would you let them know that that's where I went?
No problem.
All right. Thank you very much.
And so I'm assuming you're heading there now, right?
Yes.
Actually, wouldn't he catch up with us? Since
That's what I was about
basically
to say.
where we're going?
So, as the larger group is trying to find a place, realizing they never actually they're just told to look at a record house. They're looking at various different record houses. You catch up to them. So, what do you do?
All right. Well, Ivala suggested checking at the mercantile house, so that's where I'm going next.
All right, so you show up, and it's a fairly large, nondescript building, except for the sign out front that looks like it looks like a book and a sack of money, kind of stuck, one on top of the other. And it's a large gold sign that says Mercantile Records. And as you show up, and you see inside that there's a modest-sized reception table with an old man, mostly bald, and hunched over, and he's standing over the polished wooden counter. You see a few chairs and potted plants, and you see that the counter is covered in books and papers and writing tools. Behind the counter are shelves with paper stacked high and two doors leading into the rest of the building. And as you show up, the old man looks up and he says, I'm Roth. How can I help you?"
Good morning. Ivala told me that you were just the person to see if I'm trying to learn about some of the citizens of the area.
"Oh, Ivala," and he sort of gets this kind of faraway look on his face. And then he says, "Where was I? Form 102B. Oh, hey, you were asking about something. What was that?"
Do you happen to have any records related to the Masha family?
Masha, let me look. And then he flips through a large tome. The book is probably a foot thick, and you just hear this thud as he opens it, and he starts flipping through pages. And here we are. We do have some records related to their farmstead. What do you want to know?
Trying to learn more about who was in that family and if they had any sort of noteworthy interactions that might have been logged as part of city records and whatnot.
I see. I see. Stop there. He pulls out a scroll and he opens it up, and he pulls some writing implements. And he turns it around towards you, and he shoves the writing implements in your direction. He says, "This is form 53B/C. We need to fill this out, and you need to sign your name here and initial here, 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 and it'll be 5 silver charge, and then I'll be able to get you your information."
All right, that sounds good.
So you go and you start filling in the form, and it has a whole bunch of useless information that it's asking for, including personal history, past employment, past number of times you've been to the civic district, how many times you've been to this particular building, how long you've lived here, etc., etc. And as you go and you fill it out, it takes you a good half an hour of signing and filling out to get through the form. How much real information do you put in there?
I don't know. I guess it depends on how hard it is to come up with real information for most of this.
Yeah, it's very specific questions. Things like, when's the first day you arrived at the city? Which gate did you arrive through? What was your purpose in the city? Where are you living? Blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to fill all this out as a hypothetical person who was driving a wagon into town, minus the confessing to illicit deeds.
All right. And what name do you put down?
I'm going to sign it Kitten's Whiskers.
Kitten Whiskers?
Kitten's Whiskers, yes.
Okay, so you put all that down, and then he takes the form and he looks over it. He looks at you, he shrugs, and he rolls it up, and he holds out his hand, and that would be 5 silvers, please.
Yeah, I'll pay it to him.
Okay, he takes that, and then you see this whole time he's been filling out a form, and then he rolls up that form, and then he says, be here bright and early, 8 in the morning, and I'll have your information.
Is there any way to get that expedited?
That is expedited. Normally, it would take at least 3 days, and that if that would be if you're lucky. I'm doing this as fast as I can.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a great day.
And you hear him mumbling as you leave. These youngsters are always trying to get through the process faster, faster, faster. And then it's like, they just don't understand the joy of, going through the process and the forms. And you just see him just filling out. And then he starts mumbling about something else.
He has the nerve to call me a youngster.
All right. So what do you do?
All right. Well, that was productive. Note the sarcasm. Well, thinking back to Ayer's suggestion, or at least I think it was Ayer's suggestion. So do we want to go ahead and post a lookout, at least up until the Golden Dice opens over at Dallor's house?
I still think we should check the farmer's market. They had to sell things somewhere. We can get personal information.
That is viable.
All right. So the closest marketplace would be over here. The closest one to the northwest gate. You don't know for sure if that's the one they use, but that's most likely.
That's the right area.
Not to split up too much, but if we're posting a lookout by the house, it might be beneficial to post a lookout by the northwest gate or one of the other gates to see if he is returning into town to come to the Golden Dice, and we can all meet up at the Golden Dice in time for the tournament to see if we can find him there as well.
So it sounds like one group is going to Dallor's house, one group is going to the northwest gate, and then one is going to the market.
I don't want to split up too much, but honestly, I think that might be a decent idea. I don't know. What are everybody's thoughts?
I can go to the house.
All right, and I can keep an eye on the northwest gate.
Okay.
I guess I can go talk at the market then, speak to everybody.
Okay. So when it comes to the Dolores house, when you return, Pico, you're the one going. No, Oreo's going there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Oreo, once you arrive, it's basically the same as when you left it. The same people are there, more or less. So what are you doing there exactly?
I just want to blend in and keep an eye out. Like you said, there were like benches and stuff there. Maybe I just want to sit there and maybe take out some sort of parchment and start doodling for a little bit, but making sure that I want to keep an eye out at the entrance of his particular joint.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see. And then at the northwest gate, who was there? Ayer?
Hey.
Oh, sorry, Pico. So what are you doing at the northwest gate?
Mainly just, well, let's see. Last we knew they would have been inside. Yeah, I'll just kind of hang out near the gate and just keep an eye on the comings and goings.
Okay, fair enough. All right, and then Ragu.
Oh, I guess the other thing I'll do is if the dwarf is in charge there still, I'll ask if they've seen anything related either to Dallor or this Janice individual.
Okay, and then once you ask, she tells you she hasn't seen Dallor, since the incident, and she still doesn't know anything about Janice.
Yeah, I honestly don't think he'd be likely to go out this gate now if he was trying to leave, but no harm in trying.
Fair enough. All right, so Ragu and Galen and the rest, what are you doing?
Galen, you said you were going to be going to the market to talk to everybody. You're the best talker out of us. I was wondering if Ayer, Davok, and myself was going to go patrol to see if there were any more pop-ups of Kylon.
Oh, for the Kylon.
Yeah, we've not
Smart.
done that yet, and they've had plenty of time to eat more people and spawn.
Sure, that actually sounds really good. But make sure that we're all gonna meet up at the Golden Dice at a open.
Oh yes.
Okay. All
Did you
right.
need any cash or anything, Galen, to talk to people? Grease
Oh, I've
palms.
got more than enough money right now. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So, Galen, what are you doing?
I'm gonna head down to the farmer's market. I'll buy like a little bit of produce if people seem upset, but for the most part, I'm just trying to talk to the farmers down there to see when's the last time they've seen the Masha family and what they were selling or doing, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were they
So,
good people? Were they bad people? Did you like them? Were
Sure.
they
Yeah,
shady?
just talking to them, trying to see if I can pick up on any of the drama or goings on.
yep, fair enough. I'm going to go ahead and have you make a persuasion check. If you want to, if you're, just going around talking, it'd be just a normal check. If you want to go ahead and actually, buy stuff as you're talking, you can spend, I would say, probably about 2 silver and get advantage on the check.
Two? Yeah, easy. I'll do that. No question. And I'll have some fresh food for us to eat. I'll put that in my pack.
Yep, just like lettuce and carrots and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll just say produce.
Sure.
But I'll make the roll. I get advantage.
Yep.
And is it just persuasion?
Yep. Unless you have a better idea.
No, I think persuasion's probably it.
As you would, given that roll.
Oh, baby.
All right, so yeah, you're talking to the other farmers, and maybe some of the people passing by who shop in the area, and you find out that the Masha family used to sell a lot of produce here, carrots and lettuce and cabbage and various other things. And they were pretty prolific. They didn't make a lot of money, but they seemed to be happy with what they had, and they were, they seemed to be doing well. But one thing that, kind of weird rumors that you hear is that apparently they have a daughter, and the daughter's name is Janice.
Mhm.
And the the daughter never seemed happy. She was forced to come along, or she came along with the parents, and the parents were always happy and everything. But the daughter never seemed to be happy, and some of them, were talking about how they would, she'd give these dark looks to her parents and everything, and it seemed like they noticed that the daughter kept talking about, um, this weird group that she was part of, or at least knew about or heard of, something about the Sword of Justice.
Sword
Um,
of Justice. Okay.
and yeah, and then suddenly a couple days ago, they stopped coming, and they haven't seen them since. And then some of the farmers, though, talk about the fire and what a terrible accident that was.
Hmm.
Although one of them says that it's the strangest thing. They think they saw Janice in the city after the fire, but they know she died because they saw the body there when they went to check it out.
Okay. Great. That's very useful. All right.
Okay, and that's what you're doing. And then as far as you, Ragu, you're prowling around the slums near where the previous attacks were in order to see if you find new attacks, right?
Yeah, I've got Char circling. He's got his um, perception bonus, and we're going back and forth in those same areas, looking for dead bodies, looking for any signs of Kylon,
Fair
any
enough.
any more breeding or spawning.
Right. So yeah, go ahead and make a perception check, but you get advantage because it's you looking and the owl and presumably Devok or anybody else with you. So go ahead and make a check.
Devok and I are. All right. Perception or investigation?
Um, Actually, either would work. Investigation is probably better. So yeah, go ahead and do investigation. All right, so yeah, you're looking around and you're pretty convinced that there haven't been any attacks today, strangely. It's a little odd. You would expect more attacks, more breeding, but you're not seeing any evidence of that.
What about sewers? Are there manhole covers that lead down, or
There is a
somebody
sewer
might be
system,
listening?
but if you look around, gratings and whatnot that you've come across as you're searching, you don't see any evidence that anything's been messing with those. You could certainly go and investigate the sewers, but that will probably take days of effort. You're certainly not going to get that done in a couple hours.
Okay,
Slow
so
poke.
the sewers probably are going to be a separate thing when we're all together, but okay. We can't
Anyway,
find
yeah.
any more.
So yeah, you did. That probably takes all your time searching because going through the maze of streets and everything, even with the owl, is definitely going to take a lot of time. So does that cover everybody?
I think unless Devok and I are.
Okay.
They
Are
were-
you with Ragu
Yeah,
searching,
they
or are you
can-
doing something else?
I thought they came with me. I didn't want to go hunting
Yep.
by myself. It's better to have at least three
Okay,
of us.
that's what I thought. So I was just double checking. Okay. So that all that stuff happens, and then I assume that everybody meets at the Golden Dice. So let me go ahead and move you back over. Oops.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the VIP entrance this time.
Yeah, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and move everybody down below because you already got in once, so I don't see any reason that you couldn't get in again. Just let me make sure everybody's there. All right, so who am I missing?
Me.
Ire and Galen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody should be there now. All right, so yeah, you see the place is busy. People seem to be, you hear chattering all over the place. People seem, to be getting ready for the tournament, which is already begun for some people, and other people have to wait their turn. But yeah, a lot of excitement in the air. So what do you do?
Let's enter.
Wait, would the tournament have started? I think our goal is to be here as soon as the place opens.
Okay, so yeah,
Yep.
in that case, you show up and they're preparing for the tournament to start.
Because that way
Do we
can check
remember
the
whether
line.
we could enter the tournament today or whether we had to have a previous invitation to it?
You guys have definitely not been invited to the tournament, but you are allowed to be on the premises.
Okay, so we're not allowed to. Okay, so we'll just be watching. I'm sure there's plenty of people who'll be watching the tournament though, since it's a spectacle.
Right.
All right, let's walk in, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, you walk
the
in.
same-
There is a line, of course, but you guys are let right through, and it does. Yeah, because you tried to be here when the place opened, I'd say it probably only took you like 15 minutes to get through this time. But the place is already full. It seems like people must be lining up hours ahead of time. So what do you
Did
do?
we want to have? Did we want to have somebody stationed outside to keep an eye out for him, or do you just wait for him
You have
to
an
enter?
owl?
Yeah.
Yes,
owl.
I do. We'll leave Char outside. He can tell me if
Yeah, fair enough.
he
I'll
shows
just
up.
assume he's flying around. No problem.
So,
And he should be close enough that he can psychically tell me.
Actually, I must stay outside with the owl.
that's smart.
Okay. Fair enough.
They
Just go ahead and
might,
position yourself
recognize
where you want to
your
be.
fur.
Um, looking around, do I get any evidence of heightened security?
You do. It seems like there are people, well-dressed people, who kind of walk through more regularly than before, and you see people whispering to each other, and when one of those people walk by, you get kind of a tingle, and some of your hair might stand up a little.
Alrighty.
Okay, so what do you do?
Well, I guess I'm going to go up to the counter here and order myself an ale.
All right. So you go to order it, and the bartender waves and says, "Oh, you came back to check out the tournament, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, good for you. So it'll be 2 copper for the drink."
All right. There we go. All right. Boy, it feels different in here than yesterday. These things normally this or I mean, that's the word I'm looking for.
Excited.
Is there normally that imposing a presence usually?
Oh, well, you see, this doesn't happen very often, but apparently somebody broke in and stole a little bit of the money.
A little bit. Jesus Christ. they're
And
rich.
well, let's just say there's some people who believe that they try to get into more sensitive areas and they failed, but now the security measures are definitely being upgraded. Let's put it that way.
Alrighty. Well, I guess you know, given the areas of town that places like this end up kind of having to be, I guess it doesn't surprise me that those things would happen here and there.
Yeah, I suppose, but well, let's just say that a certain person was quite angry, and let's just say that the various surprises they have set up are quite a bit more lethal, or going to be quite a bit more lethal soon.
Alrighty. Well, as long as those surprises don't include the ale.
Oh, and speaking of surprises, Dallor is already here.
Oh boy.
Really? I'm gonna have a glance around real quick, see if I can spot him in this room. Although if he's gambling, you're probably not.
Oh, he he hasn't started that yet. As far as I know, he's been drinking. I was expecting to get right in there, but he seems to be drowning in some sort of sorrow.
Sorrow. That's interesting. Yeah. Every last I had heard, supposedly things were going great for him.
He shrugs. It's like I don't know, but yeah, something's going on. But anyway.
All right. And when I glanced around, do I see somebody that fits that description? Just trying to determine if I've got to ask the barkeep where he is.
You do not see. You look around, and you don't see anybody that looks like Dallor. It's in the areas you can see.
I remember him saying that Dallor likes to drink over here, though. We can check
All
that
right.
first.
Let's see. All right. We'll go ahead and check that way. Jeez, I'm gonna guess it's the guy with
I
the green
wonder
car
who
over
it could be.
Maybe.
I think.
Maybe.
Well, we should.
Oh, actually,
probably
before you do
ask.
that,
Wait,
I'm
no.
gonna ask the
Okay.
bartender what kind of drink does he usually order.
I'm
just
75%.
ale.
All right.
The's
Mind
still
serving up
room
a
for
second
doubt.
one, please.
Definitely. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, we gotta make sure at the end of the day.
Well, whoever that guy is, he's charming. He is a stunner,
Yeah,
that's for
isn't he?
sure.
Anyway, as you approach, you see the person who's obviously Dallor because of the sorry, Obviously, Dallor, because of the description you have. Anyway, he seems to be looking down at his mug of ale, and you see a bunch of empty mugs, probably about 8 of them all around him already.
Oh
You get the
no.
impression that he's got so many mugs here, either he's chugging them like there's no tomorrow, or he somehow got in early. Anyway, and yeah, you see him just staring at his ale, and then he'll chug, and then he'll stare at it some more. He doesn't even notice you.
All right.
Let's
Well,
give him
Galen, I
the.
think this is
Yeah.
going to be where you work your magic. I've got the lubricant right here.
Of course. Okay. Let's give it to him, but
I
he
think
might.
he said plenty.
Yeah, I think he's pretty lubricated already. He might
Yes,
not even be
but
able to talk about what he has.
come on, this is a universal gesture of goodwill.
No, no, you're right. You're
I
right.
mean,
I'll.
yeah,
Yeah, why don't
Yeah,
you
we'll
why
give him
don't you
the
drink
ale.
all of
like
that just
2/3
gets
of
in the.
it before you give it to him?
What was that?
So
So
no,
why
no,
don't
no. Well,
you like drink a bit of it first, just so you know he's not
gonna pass out.
not too far gone by the time we get to him.
I'm sure it'll be fine. If all else fails, we can also just tell him that we have a place for him to stay since he's so drunk, and then just like talk to him in the morning. As long as we stay with him for the rest of the night, I think it'll be all right.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, well, I'll give him the ale, and I'll say,
Yes, here's a person who looks like he knows
Hi.
a fine drink.
He looks at you,
Yeah, it's
Pico, and he says, "Go away."
No, not even if I've got
All right.
another one right here for you.
Okay, I'll take the drink. Okay, what do you want? I don't have any money. I'm not giving you any money. Okay.
we don't
Thanks.
want any
Hey,
money, Dallor.
No, look, we know when somebody's having a rough day, and we're always ready to lend a welcome ear or friendly ear, and sometimes even see what we can do to help.
You know what you can do to help?
Unfortunately, we have our limits when it comes to ambulating away from tables.
He looks at his drink. Whatever. I don't care. And he drinks some more. And then
All right.
he just stares at his drink for a while.
I'll talk to him and I'll say, look, my name's Galen, and I understand that you're going through a rough period, but why don't you
You
talk
wouldn't know
about it?
the
Maybe
half
it'll
of
make
it.
you
You
feel
have no
better."
idea.
Well, help me understand.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Yeah, there we go. And if it doesn't
And
work, we can.
I'm gonna try and help him as far as getting him started. I'm gonna sit there and say, it's like, come on, your problems can't be that bad. I mean, for perspective, think about that poor farm family that died in the fire.
No, 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 no.
All right, Galen, you now have disadvantage on your persuasion check.
No, Dave, no.
Oh my god!
You brought up his dead
Why
girlfriend.
did you say that? Oh,
I was
God.
hoping to get him angry enough that he'd be like, "Oh, you think that's somebody else's problem?" and spill the beans.
That's good. Angry is
Oh,
good for like I
no.
don't know, maybe deception or like
Getting him
intimidation.
tilted
But
there.
No.
yeah, but if I'm trying to persuade him, I don't want him mad.
All right, go ahead.
I'll roll. Oh, fuck.
He looks at you and he's like, "You don't know the half of it. Just leave him alone." And he continues to drink.
All right, guys, let me have a shot.
We're not. No, you're not fucking snatching him.
No,
Okay.
let me have a shot.
What are you gonna shoot him with?
I go back to the bartender and I ask for one pitcher and a
Oh,
glass.
Jesus Christ! No, 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 no.
The
no.
bartender looks at
Glass.
you and he says, "You can order a drink, but I'm not in the habit of giving away pitchers and glasses."
Well, I was going to be drinking for a while, but okay, I'll just take one drink.
Now, listen, Dallor, I know you may not want to share
Let's
your
get
problems.
one really
but-
strong
Wait,
drink.
So it's
Let
two
me- give me a
coppers
shot.
it's 2 coppers for an ale.
Got
go
it,
ahead.
Tatum.
You should get him
Oh, right.
just get him a stronger drink.
I'm working
Hey.
on that. I'm faster here. I pull out a. Actually, hold on. Let me verify. I do not.
Give
Never
me a
mind.
shot, guys.
I'm telling you, we just need a stronger drink.
Yeah, I was thinking some good Bury whiskey. If Ragu's got any of that.
I do, but Let me try.
Yeah, anyway, Raku, you got your ale now.
Okay. Are you guys still around the table at him, or did you leave when
No,
he
we're still
said
here.
get lost?
That's not how persistence works.
I know.
Okay, what are you doing?
Give me a shot, guys.
Can you tell me what you're gonna do before?
I'm
Hey,
gonna
go ahead.
empathize.
No, do it.
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah. Do what you're gonna do.
Hit me
All right.
with your best shot.
Shot.
All right. I just go over to the same table he's sitting at and just kind of put one leg over the stool and plop down. My shoulders are slumped. Got my beer in my hand, and I'm just kind of staring at it. Life freaking sucks.
Dallor looks at you, and he shrugs and just continues sipping his drink.
I take a sip of my drink and is like, man, I tell you, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have none at all.
He looks at you again, and he's like, you have no idea. And then goes back to staring at his drink.
I have no idea. You have no idea. Your own father tried to kill you. Talk to me when that happens to you.
He looks at you again, and he says, worse.
What could be worse? My father tried to kill me. My mother was trying to my sister into slavery. My brother was slaughtered.
Okay, go ahead and make a performance check.
Good God.
Yes, empathize with the guy. We're going to get into a who's worse life scenario here. This happens in bars all the time.
Yeah, go ahead and
You
give
know
me
what?
a performance.
Actually, it's a pretty good plan.
Give a performance?
Yeah, you're trying to convince them this is what this is all true. A performance or deception, either one.
All right. Do I get a bonus or just straight roll?
It's just a straight roll. Unless somebody else can help you in a way that's advantageous.
I was there. I watched his brother die. No, I'm joking.
Is that what you're saying?
No. I was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke.
It'll be helpful.
Because,
No.
somebody can help, but you have to tell me how you're helping.
I mean, I guess I could say that. I'm not very good at lying, though. I don't
Phrase-
like lying.
Well, you don't have to
That's
be.
good
You
point.
just have to help me.
Yeah, so what do you say, Galen?
I don't know. I don't lie. My character doesn't like to lie. So I don't think I'd really say anything.
Okay. Anyway, I
just
guess that's a
straight-
straight roll then.
My charisma sucks, guys. It was a good plan, but this is where I screw the pooch.
I
All
would
right, you know
offer
what?
my assistance.
I believe in you.
Sure, Tavok. What do you say?
Oh, I said I would, not that I am.
Okay,
I
fair
think I'll
enough.
make things worse.
Go ahead,
All right.
Raku. Go ahead and make your roll.
All right.
Performance
Said,
or deception? Ooh. He looks at you and he chuckles a little. It's like, whatever. And he drinks.
No, I want to try this again. I'm going to keep going.
Oh no. I think we should just let it die.
Good. You think my problems aren't? Well, if I'd rolled better.
Okay, Dallor. You think you've got problems now? I'm just going to lean in and whisper. Well, I won't actually whisper it, but in character. What are you going to do when if the people responsible for the Kylon catch up to you before anybody else does?
Okay. So he's hearing this, and he looks at you, and that sounds like an intimidation. So give me an intimidation, but you have an advantage because of what you said.
All right.
All right. So he looks down again, and then he lets out a breath, and he says, "All right, I get it. What do you want to know?" When he looks around,
I'll say to him, I'm glad that you're willing to talk to us now. I think maybe we should find somewhere safer to talk because at the end of the day, your safety is key to us, and we are not here to get you in trouble or in harm's way.
All right.
Actually, right now here's probably the best place.
Is it
While on the
really?
one hand,
And
there's
the
here's
safest.
I saw
it's
somebody
very
else
high
sitting at the
security.
table. There's a dude here, right? We don't really want a dude here.
Yeah, there's definitely people at the table.
I think we
We can move
probably want
elsewhere in
to.
the casino, but
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
think
think I
leaving right now
agreed.
is a good
No, no, no,
idea.
no, 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 no. I didn't mean to insinuate leaving the casino. I meant like leaving the table, because like if I were the enemy, I would place people in the casino as well. So I think just being separate from them is probably good, or
Well, at this
potentially
point in
good.
time, Dallor kind of lifts up his finger, and or his thumb, and he kind of thumbs back this direction,
Got it. Okay,
Sounds good.
let's do
and
it.
he stumbles his way over there.
Hope of
And I'm
luck.
gonna kind of take a point here where I can see him, but still have a good glance around the room.
All right. Anyway, he
Does
says,
anybody turn and look when he moves?
um, somebody over one of the people at the table over here, he glanced. But he also glanced as you guys showed up, and then he went back to his drink.
Yeah, anybody looks our way, I'm just gonna go ahead and give them literally an endless stare.
Okay, and suddenly everybody's really interested in their drinks.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
All right, and Dallor is sitting there, and he says, "Well, as you know, it's all my fault."
I don't believe that because there's somebody else who brought this thing into the city, and they're who we're after. Not to be rude to you, but this isn't all about you.
Really? You say so.
Uh, you were just kind of a patsy, my friend.
So what do you want to know?
I want to know who brought in the Kylon, when they brought in the Kylon, and where we can find the Kylon. If you can provide that.
Well, I can tell you some things. I can't tell you everything. Well, you see, I have been seeing this person. Her name's Janice. You
Hmm.
won't recognize that, I'm sure, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, she's we've had issues with her parents and everything, and whatever. That's not important. But what she she kind of approached me one day because I always complain about not having enough money. I never have enough money. Well, I guess I do now, but it doesn't do me any good. I don't feel like using it. Anyway, um, she approached me and said she had a way of she knew some people who needed some help, and if I were to help them, I'd get some money. And so she introduced me to this person. I don't know his name. He just goes by. When I asked him, he told me I can't ask that. I can't know that. And he said something about the sword of justice, whatever that is. Anyway, so the deal was simple. All I had to do was open the gate, and because they were going to smuggle in some goods. So I opened the gate, and this wagon came through, and I closed the gate, and all was good until I saw one of those creatures and realized that they must have come in at the same time. Um, and that's really it. And I've been hiding out ever since, hanging out in the park and one of the parks, and hanging out, going to different places, and staying away from my home.
Hmm. Well, I have a couple more questions. Uh, First of all, do you know where Janice has gone?
No idea. She was with me recently, um, uh, but I haven't seen her today. And she
Okay.
said she was gonna meet me here tonight, but I haven't seen her. Maybe she'll show up.
Okay.
What does she look like?
Oh,
Yeah.
she's about 5'6". She's got dark hair. Um, she's got some freckles. Um, she's kind of skinny. She's worked on a farm all her life. I guess her parents are farmers. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, the parents still hate us. Although she says that she took care of that somehow, but I don't see how. As far as I know, they still hate us.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Yeah, we're gonna wait for this. I've got an idea, but keep going.
Maybe we shouldn't tell him that just yet.
No, that's why I said I got an idea for later, but you guys keep going.
Of course.
Well,
I'll.
I guess he didn't put two and two together since I already dropped that info. Although I didn't mention names.
No, you didn't really.
I honestly thought he was gonna say he thought she was dead, and I was gonna let him know that she's alive.
So I'll tell him that uh I don't think that he's really to blame here, and I'll thank him for telling us about this. I'll tell him, why don't you keep staying here tonight? Maybe try and play in the tournament a little bit. We'll wait and see if Janice comes. If she does, we can talk to her. If not, he's more than able to stay at my house for safety until this
Do
all
you have any way
blows
of
over.
contacting Janice, or does she have to come to you?
She has to come to
Good
me.
question.
She she never really told me where she's staying. If she ever visited me, she would always come to my place. But
So you've never gone out to her farm?
oh, I've been to her farm, but she's been staying in the city recently for some reason. She said her parents just let her. It's really weird.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, we're just not gonna touch that one. But yeah, I'll tell him all that. And any other questions that we could ask right now?
I'm trying to think. I mean, the big concern is that I don't given what we're getting here, I don't think Janice is going to be all that eager to cooperate.
Not at all. No, not at all. She's clearly one of the quote unquote bad guys. Like she's part of this order of the sword, or what was it called again, Jeremy? I'm sorry.
Sword of Justice.
Sword of Justice, who clearly brought this thing in.
She might
So
have had to kill her own
that's gonna
family
be
as a
more of
rite of
a
passage to get into the group.
yeah,
Had
I
to.
think
No, she definitely wanted to. Remember,
she
they said she's
definitely
hated her family.
Yeah. Well, that
I
just
think
makes it
this was
easier.
partly her idea too, because she said she was part of the Sword of Justice for a little while now, not just that she became part of it by doing this. Honestly, I think a more Ragu style plan will work for her. She's probably not going to talk unless we grab her and scare her a little bit. But yeah, let's leave him here. I don't like to, but let's leave him here almost as bait to see if we can draw out any other agents of the Sword of Justice from him, like gambling or seeing if they try to engage with him, or if the his girlfriend comes.
Okay, so yeah, you basically stake out the place, and the night passes. He does a little bit of gambling, but you can tell his heart's not in it. But he
Mhm.
loses some of his money, but he doesn't seem to care that much. Um,
Hey, Galen,
Mhm.
one thing you could do, I probably won't help much, but you could always point out that, that his friend Mirror really seems to care about him and was definitely worried about his well-being.
Sure, I'll tell him that, and I'll tell him like, how else do you think we found you? You have people that care about you.
he looks up and he shrugs. And it's like, well, he shouldn't. I don't want him getting in trouble over all this.
Well, we're in the business of solving problems, and one of those is not making problems for him. So,
And not making problems for you. Like my friend Pico said, we're here to solve problems, not create new ones.
Okay. And he nods. You're not sure if he believes you or not, but he sort of accepts it. And anyway, so like I was saying, you stake out the place, and he gambles a little. And one thing that becomes really clear is he doesn't actually have much money on him. For someone to suddenly come into the money, he has awfully little, from what you can tell. But he does have enough for some gambling, and obviously enough to drink. And Janice never shows up, and so at it's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning at this point. The games have died.
Oh, there will be one other thing I'll do in the meantime. I will ask the bartender about if he's heard of this sword of justice.
He tells you he
Quietly.
hasn't.
Yeah.
He
Hasn't?
hasn't. No. Anyway,
Okay.
so the games have died down. People are still drinking, but it's clear that the night's basically over. So what do you do?
Um, let's collect. Let's collect.
Dallor?
Dallor. Yeah, let's collect Dallor. I'll take him. I can. He can stay in my house. I want to keep him safe,
Okay,
so I don't mind.
so yep, you take him to your house, and
On the walk back, I'm actually gonna ask him how much money he made, because he didn't seem to have much on him.
he smiles and he said, "I had 50,000 silvers, but now I got."
Dang.
He counts 10.
Oh my gosh. Where did he spend it on?
Oh, most of it was a gift for Janice.
Oh, that's so sad. Jesus Christ.
Wasn't a bracelet, was it?
What did you buy for her? That's so
Oh,
sweet.
she needed the money. She said she wanted help with money, and so I wind up. She needed thousands of silver, or tens of thousands of silver for something, debts or something. So I gave it to
Hmm.
her.
Well, that's very kind of you. All right, come on back. I'm gonna get you to bed.
Anyway, you lead them to your place, and everybody winds up going back to their own homes for the night. And we'll go ahead and end the session, except that in the morning when you wake up, there's a note, both at the tenements in the Sadaga ward and at the inn where the rest of the group is staying, saying that there's been another attack, but this time the exact location has been pinpointed, and we'll deal with that attack next session. So let me
Okay.
go ahead and set up your experience here real quick. All right, so session 2, and let me calculate this. Give me 1 second. 12.5 times 5, so that would be 63 there. And treasure 13. And I guess that's it. All right, so looks like you get 79 experience points this time.
I failed twice. I
Right,
failed on a lockpick and I failed on the electrocution thing.
that's true. So you get an additional 25, which I did actually have marked correctly this time. Did anybody else fail that I'm forgetting?
I
I
failed an intelligence check when I was gambling, but I don't know if that counts as an actual fail.
It still had consequences in the sense that you lost money, so I go ahead and count it. So you
I
gained
failed
13.
my
I
I
got, sorry, what was that, Jeremy?
failed
How
my
much did I get?
charisma.
Okay, that's true. And Pico, did you fail at anything?
Well, I think I failed an insight check to look for suspicious people. I did definitely make a roll worse, which resulted in a failure.
That doesn't quite count, since that was from your actions. So you get the 13. Devak and Ire, did you fail at anything?
Nope.
I didn't roll anything, so
Fair enough. So you should see the session XP. So everybody gains 79 experience points total, except for Oreo, who gets an additional 25, Pico, who gets 13, additional 13, Ragu, who gets an additional 13, and Galen, who gets an additional 13.